kind, benevolent ruler decided that he had had enough of the evil being around. And he's like nothing can exist in my kingdom that is not love. And so slowly all of the evil got like coagulated into a big giant blob as it was making its way out of the kingdom by the power of the Kree. But then some little jackass kid saw the big blob of evil and was like, I'll love you. And so all of that evil was going to go into the child. And everybody thought that would be a terrible idea, to have it all concentrated into one kid. So they decided that they'd all love it a little.
That's the real takeaway here.
That's heavy. Yeah.
This fantastical scenario.
It's crazy story.
It's grim grizz.
About a blob.
It's making us think about some very real questions.
It's like a mirror.
About our own choices.
Yeah.
About our responsibilities.
Reflecting back on us.
What would you do
if
you were faced with a giant blob of evil?
With grim grizz.
With grim grizz.
Would you try to love it?
Midwestuary 2025, August 22nd through the 24th, in Elmhurst, Illinois. A weekend you won't want to miss, with special guests Cale Zeldin, Paul Vanderklay, Rod Dreher, Elizabeth Oldfield, John Vervaeke, and Jonathan Pajot. Midwestuary 2025, the Fellowship of the Spirit. Stay tuned for more details. Visit us at midwestuary.com for ongoing updates.
Good evening, Embody. Afriel here. We hope you're feeling virtually not alone. Test. And tonight, I don't really have any particular plans of what to talk about. I kind of wanted to just take a chill filler episode and play some Better Than Wolves and hang out with folks. So, more of a Stranding Sunday type energy, or a McMo chill stream. And I'm not going to start from a new one just because the beginning of this is really boring and I already had some stuff going with it, so we're going to play from there. And try not to die, because it's really easy to die in this mod. How are you this evening, Upcycle? Or I guess more, is it morning for you? +8. You're like, it's like 2 a.m. there, right? Or 4 a.m.? I forget if it's +8 or +10. So just for some context, Better Than Wolves is... Yeah, okay. Mr. Insomniac. 4, okay. This mod is like more oriented towards hardcore survival. Like, it's really, really hard to get resources just to stay alive, and then anything that like upgrades you over time is generally a lot more difficult to come across, a lot more difficult to get there. Yeah, go to sleep whenever you want to. Like, don't like, I feel bad keeping Ron up, but I think, well, I don't know, should I feel better or worse about keeping you up? So you cook your first couple of nights of food on a campfire, which cooks very, very slowly. Eventually, one of the first priorities that we're going to have is to well, first I need to get some more string. And then once we have some string, I can make tools. And then use an axe to get more wood, get a shovel to get some clay, make a brick oven. There's a whole process to it. But for now, we're just sitting waiting for a chicken to cook. Nursing the fire so it doesn't go out. Watching the sun come up. Let's see what has been on my mind lately. Things that I want to focus on with like positive energy, not the craziness of the world today. Had a random run-in. We had like a work happy hour. I don't want to try and cook something else because I don't have the tools for it. So we'll just pop that off and be on our way. Try not to die. It is so easy to die to creepers and zombies and any other number of critters in this game. So just run straight out the door, turn around, make sure nothing's following you. There's a creeper over there, and we don't have the tools to beat him, so we're just gonna wander off. So we have 2 sharp stone. We're going to want to go kill some chickens. We're going to want to get some wood. We're going to want to get some webs, especially. So that's what I'm looking for right now. Because I can probably kill this chicken pretty easily. Also, jumping takes way more hunger in this mod than most other versions of Minecraft that I've ever played. So, the main thing I'm looking for right now is string. If I can find string, then we are in business. If I can't, then we're going to be kind of screwed. There we go. Howdy, Slack. Have you ever played Better Than Wolves? Main reason we need string is because having an axe for day 2, because this was, I think, just after day 1, and I need more stone first. So we're going to go try and find a spot of exposed stone and see if we can make do with that. And then make sure we don't lose track of where home is, like that way. Because night is not forgiving here. Any exposed stone here? Yes. I think. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so we had a happy hour after work kind of thing. And it was a good time. And then I was escorting my drunk coworker back to his ferry back home, and just bumped into this Marine kid who had just been out on a field training exercise for a little while, and just chatted up a conversation. Is there volume? Can you not hear me? Testing, testing. I'm punching water because this is Better Than Wolves, and this is what you do in the early game. And technically I'm not punching the water, I'm punching the stone that's in the water. Well, hang on. Let me see if I can fix that. Escape. Better than wolves. Can I change? If I just max the desktop audio, maybe that'll work. Let's see. And then also turn the sound up. Okay. Let's try that. Full on ASMR mode. How are you doing, Slicarius? This one goes out just to you specifically. But anyway, the reason I bring the Marine kit up was like an after action report of my own interaction with him, because it was like, it definitely made me wonder, like, was there a reason for me to like randomly run into this kid for just a little bit? And I probably should have been asking and listening rather than telling, which is more what I found myself in the mode of doing. And like, the little voice in my mind told me that that wasn't the right approach. It was an okay approach, but it wasn't the right one for what needed to happen there. So. I'm curious, like, that little voice of conscience, how common of an experience that is for TLC folks. Also, let me know, especially with that clanging of crafting, if that's too loud. Is there a way of doing, like, partial corn? Is that a thing? This is what peak performance looks like. Other Minecraft streamers might. Is this peaceful, or does that little voice tell you that you're about to die? I mean, this isn't peaceful. Better Than Wolves is one of the gnarliest mods that I've played around with. Most other ones are like tech mods and stuff like that, because that's just the kind of nerd that I am. This one is very deadly. Food is a lot harder to come by. You just jumping decreases your hunger a lot. It's pretty brutal. Also, I'm already in Discord chat if anybody does want to hop on. You are welcome to join me. Because this is not going to be interesting for probably a long time. But that's okay. We're just hanging out. Let me shift that over there. That's better. Yeah, no, just the little voice of conscience. Like, if you don't know if you're supposed to be doing something or not, you ask yourself, and that's the voice that answers. Does it say you died when you die? Kind of. I mean, Minecraft has a death screen, so I think that works out. Okay, I have food, I have wood. Probably should look around for more string. Also, I'm like already getting hungry. Where's the sun? Okay, we still got time. There's some stone there. The nice thing about plains and desert is you can see a long distance. The only problem with desert is that, and this is like lots of research as well, so that's why I can just like spout this off. Desert doesn't work as well because spiders like to attack chickens, and so if there's no chickens in the area, then they're not going to shoot their webs. Oh, I'm leaving the stumps because in this you can't actually harvest stumps with an axe. You have to... glad I wasn't standing on the sand. You have to either remove them with stump remover, or you have to light them on fire. They're also the only way that you can get crafting tables. You can't actually make a crafting table in your inventory. You have to get an iron chisel and then like chisel a stump into a table. Okay. Okay. That should be enough stone for a while. I heard a spider. Probably underground somewhere. No clay in there. Wasn't really expecting it. I mean, like, you joke that this is Minecraft with extra steps, but it actually unironically is. And I am just the kind of masochist who loves that sort of a game. So, okay, looks like there's a swamp over there, so that's probably a good spot for clay. And I probably need to start heading back and making a fire. So you lose a lot of hunger from jumping, but as long as you put a half slab down and walk up a ramp, it does not take your hunger. Although I don't know if I can... No, I can't quite get that. Let's do that, fine. I'd like to stay in the same... Oh, no, that was not smart. Well, I can just use one of my oak logs. I think this was the one. Yeah, this is the one I was in. Ol' Outdoor Boys. I am curious, like, why Algo loved his channel so much. Not to say it was. I've watched loads of his videos. Okay, and oh wait, I have. Like, the first night you make fire with 2 sticks rubbing together, and then the second night, if you can get string, you have a bow and drill, and it takes like a little while to get the fire going. So, just to give you an idea of what kind of a game this is. And then we put the pointy stick on it, and then we put some chicken on it. Bada boom. And then we close the door behind us because we don't want to get eaten by zombies. And then we stand in the corner so a creeper doesn't explode on us. Their eyesight is based on movement. And now we cook 2 pieces of meat overnight, and that's all our fire is going to have time for. And then, not going to happen right now because I don't have the resources for it, but like I can make a pile of gravel for a gravel slab, which you run faster on gravel and on rock than you do on dirt and sand. So making gravel paths is kind of helpful, but I probably over prioritize it. But yeah. I wonder whether channels like that ever, like, obviously they get hit up by advertisers and a bunch of other people like that to say, hey, what is it that's, or what, can we get you to advertise for us? Can we get you to shill our products? But, like, is there, I don't know, YouTube police or some other affiliated entity that comes in and says, hey, we need you to say these things and not say these things? Or do they just implicitly do that by promoting and demoting your videos selectively based off of the content that you talk about in it? I think the reason I think about that is, what's his name? Jesse Wells, I think. The guy who's been doing a lot of, like, protest songs, recording himself out in the woods. And he did, like, a No Kings song. And I was like, oh my god, if Grim started doing VPN ad reads, that's the same energy as, like, Count Dankula doing ads for Raid Shadow Legends. But it's just like, why are you making a No Kings song? Who's paying you? Because I made the joke to TomTom in Discord of, like, because I was, who was it specifically that I was talking shit about? Milo Yiannopoulos. And how he was probably given the orders to do a hit job on James Lindsay. Or at least, like, wanted to, but as... if you're good at something, never do it for free. The Joker meme. Like, who is the Teal to his Hogan? Who's the funding person in the shadows who wants to see Lindsay get taken down a notch too? And those were some salacious accusations too. So, big priority right now is just getting a hold of a brick oven, because that will, like, quadruple my food output, I think. It makes a huge difference. Oh, also, you can't be alone in the dark in this game. Otherwise, you go insane and you die. I don't know if canon-wise you get turned into a zombie or something else, but... it also takes way less fuel per food cooked. And now I have a zombie looking at me. Unironically, just like real life. Like, that is the one thing that they actually did a really good job with the balance in this. Like, making it still also relatively realistic and making it really, really difficult without making it impossible. Although you do kind of have to be like a genocidal maniac for a little while there. Also, I really hope that no skeletons start shooting me through the windows. This is one thing I didn't think about. Just put the wood up just in case. Because if he hops, I need to, like, block the window off quickly. Because wouldn't you know it, you can't really fight back easily in this. Because your tools deteriorate, maybe not more quickly, but, like, I want to say that the mechanics of it are that if you swing and miss, that counts towards your tool deterioration. Which is not just like real life, but hey, we gotta take these Minecraft masochists and give them something to do. Yeah, if I play this again, I'm playing Feed the Beast, though. Doing something more active and technical is probably more entertaining than just sitting around a fire watching a piece of virtual meat cook. Yeah, let's see. What else is going on? I think Ethan said he was trying to do some 24-hour stream in honor of the Grail Country one that happened before. I think he's still going. I don't want to alt-tab right now. Chat, is he still going? And I alt-tab because I said I didn't want to alt-tab. Silly Afriel. There we go. Pure man. I don't really understand the appeal of trying to do that kind of a thing. I mean, I guess like you're trying to just have a community celebration. Good evening, Spatch, fellow questuarian. We're not doing anything too serious tonight. Just hanging out and chilling. I wanted to think of something that was even more boring than riding around in the wilderness on a motorcycle. So I picked Better Than Wolves. Go ahead, clip it and send it to Foxman. Trying to see if I can like get that cooked. Probably shouldn't have stepped out there. That was actually a mistake. This is not a Christian Minecraft server, but it's like Christian adjacent. If that makes any sense. Like you can cuss and talk about bad things on here, but we try and like help promote good habits and good behaviors and caring about other people and loving other people. We just, you know, acknowledge that the world is an ugly place and that sometimes you need to address the ugliness directly. Okay, we're gonna wait for him to die, and there's a skeleton right in the shadow there. Oh. Shoot. Okay. He's probably on the roof though, so that should be fine. Just have to be mindful of him coming through the window. There we go. We run out the door. Okay. There was a skeleton in the eaves. Do I want to go back and try and get that food cooked? Kind of. But that's... whatever. I'll come back later. If it doesn't cook, it doesn't cook. And I don't really want to deal with the creeper, but I'll just go this way. Speaking of Minecraft servers, maybe that's what I should do next time. If I want another filler episode, just make a server open invite. One skeleton can be very bad when you are as taxed for food and resources as you are in the early game, especially. And like getting to low health cripples you, and getting to low food slows you. Like, it's just all around not a good time. To be avoided if at all costs. Not seeing clay in there. I might have to just go ahead and cross. So the way that clay works in this is it's not actual blocks of clay. It's clay in the dirt. So you got to find that. Also, you walk slower through tall grass. Oop. Oh, come on. There we go. Also, when you kill an animal, all the other animals around you freak out, and so there's that too. No, you... I got a crit on you. Please. Thank you. Here we go. And we're looking for 16 clay, and then we're going to head back. 2, 3, 4, 5. I did see the Minecraft movie. 6. I'll talk about it in a second. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. 13, 13. 3 more. Yeah, I did see the Minecraft movie. I thought it was okay. It was definitely fairly normie targeted, but they actually did a pretty good job with a lot of aspects of it that I would not have necessarily expected them to. Like actually consulting Redstone YouTubers for stuff, including things like the chicken killer. Like, I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised with how respectful they were towards Minecraft as an intellectual property. Although maybe that's just because I've been so black-pilled by how Hollywood treats all other intellectual property at this point, so. And hopefully we don't die on the way back of starvation. Yeah, overall, thought it was okay. Although with Jack Black, have any of you guys seen the movie Year One? Jack Black with Michael Cera. Very interesting, that one. I'm trying to remember exactly how the end of it goes. But it's basically presenting an alternative for like what God gets angry about in some of the biblical stories in a very like Hollywood kind of a way. There we go. I think yeah, I'll just do another one. That's fine. Probably should do chicken just to keep the inventory free, but it's okay. And we'll just top that off. So the proper way to make a drying rack, which is what we need next, is to take usually 16 wood and then like build a platform out of that so that creeps can't get on it. I got time to maybe get some wood, and I have food. Also, I don't know if it was one of this game specifically. But this is one of those. Hey, Mrs. Pilotson, do you think I might have autism?
Yes.
I'm surprised. I thought you would have your headphones in.
Charging.
Okay. What'd you think of it, Spatch? What'd you think of the Minecraft movie? We'll get a drying rack set up. So you don't want to make it too high. He's caught the tism, it's contagious. You don't want to get it struck by lightning. You also don't want to make it like next to another ramp. It's probably like here would work. And then you space it so that you have to jump to get onto it. Turn these into wet bricks. And then we dry some bricks out. Ta-da! Which is it, Spatch? Have you or have you not seen the Minecraft movie? The world needs to know. So those will take a day to dry. So for now, we just go and we chill. And I may have screwed myself, because I don't know if I have enough wood to keep this going, because I just spent it all on that. Well, I won't die. We'll just have to chill and hope for the best, I guess. Oh, you saw year one. Okay. That's what you meant. What were your thoughts on it? Also, is it a good thing that TISM isn't contagious? I think so. I assume so. And we'll kill the knitting needles, and I will burn the shafts potentially. Kinda want to keep the bow drill. Atheist nihilist at the time. I mean, it's funny. Like, I'm not gonna deny that there's not, like, there's humor to it. It's just one of those, once you start looking at it through a more religious lens and you realize that it's basically them trying to rewrite why God would have been angry about sacrifices. It's like, that's very interesting. I think it was God was angry because they weren't accepting enough, was the reason that he was rejecting it. But yeah, no, like, the Cain and Abel scene was pretty good. Like, oh my gosh, I killed my brother, I can't believe it. Oh, I'm actually fine. Thunk! Oh no, I can't believe it, I accidentally killed my brother. Like, that's pretty good. Credit where credit's due. Okay, I'm gonna need another stone. I'm gonna want to go ahead and craft half piles so I can make paths more easily. Assuming I don't die tonight because I run out of fire, run out of light. But yeah, Spatch, you're welcome to come and hang out and talk if you'd like to. Gaming Couch Discord. Oh gosh, should probably not. Switch off willy-nilly. I hate having to use shafts. There we go. Yeah, link for Discord's in the video description if you want to come and chat, hang out. If not, that's okay too. No pressure. Yeah, once you get a bed, it's not as bad, because then you can sleep through the night, although sounds good. The game still has to do its rendering of everything that happens in the game, so it's not going to be safe in the way that normal Minecraft is. Like, you can get woken up by a creeper explosion and just die, because that's how life is sometimes. If you don't build your hovel correctly, that a creeper can just come and be like, hey, I'm gonna ruin your day now. Also, you have to be mindful of mobs in Minecraft don't spawn in singles usually. They usually spawn in doubles or triples or fours. And so if you get attacked by a creeper and your house gets blown up, don't immediately go to try and pick up your stuff and try and fix things, because there's probably a second creeper who is waiting in the wings to ruin your day. So, ask me how I know. Or maybe don't. It's a touchy subject. Which is interesting, because it's kind of one of those, like, oh, emergent mob behavior that resembles actual terrorist tactics, where you have a primary IED to cause commotion, cause chaos, injure, wound a bunch of people, and then you have a secondary IED so that way once all of the first responders kind of come in and converge on the scene, you detonate that to maximize the sort of like capacity of your adversary to continue to deal with your attacks in the future by attacking their emergency response resources. Not really a pleasant thought for most people, but and I really hope that we don't get to the point in America where that is something that needs to be thought about, but I hope that EMTs and whatnot are being briefed about some of that, and a lot of folks who work in that probably, or enough of them. Oh, howdy, Ron. Down to a motel after visiting mom and friends, hanging out with us. We're just playing a slow game of Better Than Wolves, so not too much. Demir and Joe are planning to visit while they're up here in the Northwest, yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, as you pleasant topics. You gotta attack the darkness. You have to address the darkness in order to properly attack it. Yeah, Ron or Demir and Joe coming your way too? I don't know what their plans are elsewhere in the Northwest. I think that they're also going to try and visit Nate, but I don't know for sure. That would be nice. And then if they can stop up at Foxman's Estuary as well, that'd be cool. I haven't seen them interact much in chat before, but actually I don't know if I've seen Demir much in other chats, although I haven't been as active in other places. I mean, if they're able to sync up their trip with one of our regular estuaries, that'd be great. But I would be absolutely down to do a special session, like off week or an emergency weekend session or something. That'd be good. Oh, that's right. You're in Indianapolis, so they departed away from you. Or wait, did you see them before they left? Man, I really hope I can make it through this night. Like, oh man. I need to like dig out around this border so they can't have line of sight to just peekaboo in here. Well, I mean, they're gonna come and stop at my house. Like, that's part of the plan right now. I have a spare bedroom so they can have an evening to come in, chill, or at least one evening, come in, chill, have a nice warm home-cooked meal, do laundry. I'm assuming by that no, that they did not see you before they left the Midwest. Man, I really don't want to burn the bow drill. I think it's going to be light enough that I don't have to, but it also kind of sucks that the meat's not going to cook. Oh, don't you even. Don't you do it. Meat's cooked. We're gonna play peekaboo with a skeleton. Perfectly timed cooking. And there should be enough light that I don't go insane. Didn't see bump. Well, I mean, they're gonna come back up your way from Midwestuary, so that's gonna be a thing. Ow. Oh man. It's a freaking party over here. Serpentine, serpentine. Oof. Oh, no, you. Oh. Well, something that was chasing me just destroyed a bunch of clay blocks, so that's going to be on the to-do list to go and get more. Yeah, I'm in Discord right now, Ron. Just come on in. We're on death 0. I'm going to try really hard not to die on this game, because it is just so punishing, and the starts are so annoying to deal with. So we're going to try not to do that. We're going to try and stay alive. Even if that means playing slow, deliberate, and boring. Sorry. And I need to do this so that way I don't lose that. And I need to go get more string. But I know where some is because I got shot at by a spider. Although it is cloudy, so I don't know if the mobs will be burned. I don't think they do get burned if it's cloudy. There it is. Oh, the clay didn't despawn. Okay, that's good. Oh, I think I hear Ron.
Yay, boy.
Howdy, sir.
Howdy. All right. I just got into the motel and getting my bearings. So I did not have a chance to hang out with the guys.
Nah,
That would have been really fun. They seem pretty cool.
they are good folks from what I can tell. So I'm really looking forward to
Well,
meeting them in
it's
person.
not. Yeah, because there's Catholic Joey. You know, the best I can describe. And I didn't know if this was Catholic Joey or not Catholic Joey? Just another Joey, but not Catholic Joey.
I don't.
Or
think,
is it?
I don't think he goes by Joey. Just Joe Cross.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what anybody looks like.
Well, I don't think Joe was like showing his face on anywhere for a while. That was a very recent development. Like as they were doing prep for this trip.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Hold on. All right. So why are you talking about all kinds of apocalyptic stuff? Is it because of the protests?
Partly, yeah. I'm just
Okay.
yeah. If I'm just riffing, that's what's kind of on my mind right now, and like specifically thinking about the stuff that a lot of people don't know about that kind of came out of Iraq and Afghanistan that is not really pleasant to think about.
Oh, totally. So, I need help. Maybe not as much as I did a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
But when
Oh,
this
jeez.
first came out, are
I
you
got attacked
dying?
by a dog.
I can't
Okay,
see.
we're good. And by attacked, I mean I freaked out because I thought it was
That
attacking me. I
sucks.
hit it, and then it was definitely attacking me.
So,
Oops. Anyway, you need help.
that's it. Well, there was one of my friends is a doom and gloom prepper
Mhm.
for like every catastrophe is the end of the world.
Uh-huh.
And there are some Christian YouTubers that really like that stuff.
Mhm.
You know, and they sent me a link to a video I absolutely didn't watch.
Mhm.
Since then, the moment I saw it, in my mind, I thought these words, I hate this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And then immediately a bad ringing in my ears occurred.
Okay.
I'm like, oh crap. And it was my fault.
Yeah.
I think this is okay. So here's the deal about the doom and gloom prepping and the IDs. And this is not black pilling. This is actually not going hollow.
Mhm.
We overcome by the blood of the Lamb, the word of our testimony, and we love not our life even unto death.
Mhm.
That is not to act foolishly.
Mhm.
You know, by all means, if you can run away, have at it. And if you need to defend yourself, I'll let you work that out with God.
Mhm.
But the amount of pain I've been in since Friday was something I haven't felt in years.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh crap. Like I'm not in danger and I know how to talk myself out of this,
Mhm.
but it gigantically sucks
Mhm.
for me because it was just a few hours before that, maybe less than 24 hours.
Mhm.
I had this amazing encounter with God
Mhm.
and an insight into my own personal walk with God
Mhm.
that was a watershed moment and just really confirming things that I already knew, but
It's
just
still
kind of
important.
owning them.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so I feel like I have a choice in my own life is to either pay attention to the good, the true, and the beautiful,
Mhm.
or get all angry at other people getting angry
Mhm.
and being disappointed in other people acting foolish.
Mhm.
And at least just for me is like, dude, that to me is actually going hollow. Is
Giving up on the
giving into
people.
the fear.
Mhm.
Yeah, and to be honest, because okay, so I'll just throw it out there.
Mhm.
If I am who I am, or I think I am,
Mhm.
and words matter,
Mhm.
every single word, that means me hating someone who's doing wrong is like saying I hate Peter while
Mhm.
he was cutting someone's ear. Like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Like God would be like, really? Or I'm just as bad as this dude spreading the hate and fear if not more so, because
Mm.
if I say I know love and the outcome,
Not
then
necessarily.
am I
just
actually
that.
more accountable?
Well, I
What's
don't
that?
want. I don't want to put like
No, go for it.
if someone's spreading hate and fear, like you're not as bad as that. Like don't put that on yourself. But the thing that I feel like a lot of people miss, or that I see
Mhm.
people missing, is
Mhm.
it's not. How do I explain this? They have that hate
Okay, I'm
and
listening.
fear
Right.
for reasons. Like it's not like it's an arbitrary thing that they're just like wanting to be hating and fearful, and that they like it doesn't arise out of nothing. It arises out of some sort of experience, even if that is manufactured experience by somebody else. And
Well, and if I
treating that hate and
okay,
fear with
yeah,
aggression is not going to dissipate it. It's not
right,
going to make it go away. It's not going to help it. You have to
right,
understand where they're
okay,
coming from. You have to help them work
Mhm.
through whatever it is, rather than coming at them in a distrustful way,
all
in
ticked
a
off.
hateful way yourself. Yeah.
Right.
Because what are you
Okay.
really trying to do at the end of the day?
That
Are you trying to help them? Are you trying to love them? Or do you not care about them because you see them as hateful people? And so you're just willing to give up on
I
them
was
from the
I
outset.
probably was seeing I was probably the second in a wrong way.
Hmm.
Like that's why I got so much feedback
Hmm.
because I was wrong.
Hmm.
I'm like I know where I now know who to blame. I'm like okay, it's me.
Hmm.
But the way you said it just now is what I probably could have used right at the moment I was thinking those thoughts of I hate these kind of videos. It would have diffused. It wouldn't have diffused the bomb. I just wouldn't, or it wouldn't have diffused what happened.
Hmm.
I could have avoided what happened.
Hmm. Just
And
remember, hate does not drive out hate. Only love can do that.
oh, I know. Well, I blame you.
Why do you
Where
blame
were
me?
you?
Where was
Because I need a scapegoat. No, this isn't about facts, reasons, and logic.
I need someone to blame, and
Yeah.
you are giving me the information that I could have used at that point, and so it's your fault for not having given it to me sooner, because you should have
Yes,
known that I could have used it.
exactly. Yeah. Yes,
Oh my
exactly.
goodness.
Okay, thank you. I feel better. Thank you.
So you understand. You understand that you're guilty. Oh man.
Well, and it really was. It was, and the one thing that was different about all this time
Mhm.
is I went through it by myself.
Mm,
Um,
who did you have previously?
it was my friend who she is the one who brought me to faith,
Mhm.
who was sending me the videos, and she really likes some of these kinds of videos.
Mhm.
And I was really just ticked, and I'm like,
Well,
that's the.
Mhm.
Hmm.
No, you first. You
And
finish
I'm
first.
like, well, I'm like, okay, I can't. If she likes it, that means there's something in her that's not my business to fix. Like I think there's fear, at least and man, it's so weird to say it like this, but I think she was raised by parents who were all end-timey,
Yep.
kind of like Vervaeke crazy, his mom. Like it was like I got nothing about I got no problems with eschatology and end times and blah blah blah.
Mm.
But when it's hyper and destructive,
Yep.
and that's what was ticking me off.
Yep.
And what I had to do is first experience quite a bit of pain.
Mhm.
But because I've been through it before, I'm like, okay, it's my fault.
Mhm.
What am I doing wrong? And I kind of figured it out fast, but in spiritual stuff, at least for me, you might figure out stuff fast, but having it respond is a whole other story
Mhm.
because it has to do with your spirit and not your intellect.
Yep.
And there seems to be, yeah, like there's momentum, weight, and density to thoughts.
Yep.
And
I could see that.
it was, yeah. And so, all right, this is going to sound real weird, but the upside of this is that I'm learning what would have taken me weeks before to process is now taking me days.
Mhm.
And for me to be able to be honest and process it and joke about it this fast after the first encounter is a huge improvement. Like this, I would have been, yeah, I would have been blind for a couple weeks until it dissipated. And now, let me think, it was either Friday, Thursday I received it, the text. So we're looking at Friday, Saturday. So about a 48-hour turnaround, which for me, that ain't bad. That ain't, you know, yeah. I mean, I'm like, oh, okay. This is my fault. How do we fix it?
Well,
But
again,
the way
what do you mean?
you
What do you mean it's your
expressed
fault?
it.
What do you mean it's your fault?
Well, okay, so what it is I'm being trained by God, and I want to be careful. God does not punish people to train people. Okay, I just want to make sure I put that out there. But if I'm doing something that causes pain to me, it's not God's fault.
No.
It's my fault.
God will let you touch
And
the
I'm
hot
learning.
stove.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about. And you know, you might laugh at, and I'm giving you permission to go ha ha and laugh about this. But a long time ago, when I was fresh off the boat and I was just atomic with God, I metaphorically looked at him. I said, "Don't you dare let me meet you until I dealt with all my junk." Like, and I got a feeling he said, okay. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So here's my junk. And it really is and I really do hope. I've been here before. And I've been at a place where I know I can love my enemy. I've experienced his love. And then I copped a bad attitude and kind of jacked that up a little bit, but I'm getting back in the game. And it's not fun or easy or fast, but it's worth it.
Yep.
And like you talking about IEDs and all that, which is reasonable. But the thing is what's hard about combat and war, and because it's living it afterwards. Like let's say you go to war and you win, but getting there, you had to be just as bad as the bad guys.
Well,
to survive. You know.
Well, and that's the I think preppers get too bad of a rap. Like, definitely you can take it too far, but I think good Christians should feel called to have a level of preparedness that when stuff really does hit the fan, that they can be folks that their community can rely on, kind of like a lot of Christian intervention happened in North Carolina when the feds were dropping the ball.
Right. Okay. I'll give you that.
And the unfortunate reality
All
that
right.
you need to know with that is
So that was
if
like
you
a
are
black
somebody who's
man.
helping, you're going to be a target.
Okay, absolutely. You know, that's why colonels had suits, I was told, because they, back in the old days, they knew they were going to die. And I think, now if I'm wrong about this, I'm sorry, but I think they knew they were going to die. They're like, okay, let's own it. Like, here I am. I'm your target. So the answer is yes. If you are a Christian, it's not mandatory that you're going to be a sheep to the slaughter, but it's a possibility.
Yeah.
And then, well, the flip side is if you know how to farm and you raise crops and you're a good medic, and you just know how to survive when the water's off, so to speak. Because really, most of the time, if you're a civilian and you just kind of let the military, whoever it might be, roll by, they're going to leave you alone because you're not a combatant.
Yep.
And just living without food, water for, let's say, I don't know, 3 months at the longest. Let's say 40 days. You know, if you know how to survive for 40 days, I think actually, I hate it, but that's what COVID taught a lot of people.
Yep, it did.
Um,
Also, I don't think that people have an appreciation for how powerful of a protection the Third Amendment is.
Which is the freedom
Shall
of assembly?
not house soldiers.
What is the Third Amendment? I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh.
No citizen shall be forced to house soldiers.
Oh, dude, listen, I got it, and I'm not trying to be too sarcastic, but from what I've seen of COVID, the Constitution is just a bunch of suggestions at best.
It is, but the thing that you need to understand is power is a relationship, and if you start breaking your legitimacy by doing things that are against the things that you said you wouldn't do, then it's going to have an impact in other places. It might not be immediate, and the reality is that the beast will take what it wants, and it will get what it gets.
Yeah.
But the thing is that what it gets will oftentimes be less of an ability to take what it wants in the future as a consequence of it taking too much. That's kind of stupid beast, though. So you have to keep in mind that there are smarter beasts than that.
No. Well.
Also, I want to address Slack real quick, too.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go down range, and I respect the sacrifices of those who did pay the ultimate price, but I also, it's just one of those luck of the draw things. I don't think the people who died in combat would want you to feel guilt over them having paid that price. If that makes sense. Not to say that you can't or shouldn't feel some emotion about it, but that it's not... Just because you had a cush intel job going to Korea doesn't mean that you need to feel bad that you didn't have to embrace the suck out in the sandbox like other folks did. So, sorry, I just wanted to get that off my chest. You continue on.
Oh, no, that's good. I like that. I'll tell you what. Do you mind? I mean, somebody just hit me up for a prayer request from the corner. I won't use names or gender or anything like that. But I will use just for asthma. Do you mind if I play through on this one?
Go for it. I'll join in.
I was going to do a quick prayer if that's kosher.
Yep.
Lord, in the name of Jesus, there has been a prayer request for someone in the corner for asthma. And right now, Lord, that by the whipping you received, we declare healing for them. Because this is for anybody who has asthma or breathing problems. Lungs be made whole. Air passages open up, be made whole. What is it, Lord?
You mind if I throw one on there?
any kind of inflammation. Yeah, go for it.
If there's something that is causing or exacerbating that asthma, that it either be abated on its own, or that person be made aware of it, that they can do something within their power to help to diminish its influence.
All right. Lord, we thank you that whoever needs this right now, that they would be able to receive it. We thank you for your mercy and your grace. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, cool. I just got it, so I am glad to be able to pray in the moment. I like striking while the iron's hot. Nothing wrong with the cold forge, but
it's good practice to
game on.
Yeah, just throw it out there when it comes.
Well, here's the deal. In the military, and you were around this, like they used to cuss like sailors, like whatever branch of the military. You know? So if I could cuss all the time back in the day, why can't I pray at the, like
at the drop of a hat
and say, yeah, exactly. And it actually does get easier once you're like, don't care, let's go. They're like, then also I found it to be more effective. It's, for me, it reminds me of sports when, like in basketball, I don't know, for some reason, when you're open and someone passes you ball and you just take the shot, you don't have time to think.
Yep.
You just do it. It seems to, I don't know, there's something about it. It seems to sink the bucket a lot more. So, all right. So I said all that to say, Lord, heal him, and yea, God.
Amen.
No, so else. So where were we? End of the day, end times, people. Well, no, you were talking to Slack or responding about
yeah, but I want to get back to like.
Let me see if I can see the comment.
Your thoughts and feelings about your friend who was the prepper sending you the video, and then like what you thought about it, and.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's. It's actually. Wow, she just sent me another one. Let me see what this one's all about. It's always Israel. Yeah, large LA protests. Yeah, what it is it's not.
So one.
What is it?
Can I throw a white pill out real quick too?
Yeah, go for it.
Protests like that are grossly overinflated as far as their attendance numbers and as far as their impact. The thing to kind of keep in mind is that one of the things that they're counting on is the appearance of more people than there actually are, so that way other people get convinced to sort of believe that, oh, this is a massive movement. Look at how full those city streets are with these people. And a lot of the folks that are there are probably rent-a-rioters. There's been a fair amount of research that's been put out online of like tracing, especially the No Kings protest, like where the money for that's coming from. So just bear in mind that not all is as it seems.
Oh no, and that's why I try to tell. Well, I do tell my friend, and she does understand that. To be fair, I think what it is, and this is just for me right now, I'm realizing, okay, if I know this is all fake,
it's not.
Oh, this is feeling real interesting and good. It is my obligation. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
But go on.
What am I doing? Man, this is interesting. I feel this in my heart. What am I doing to push back? And when I get that feeling, is I know it's exclusively to pray. And if I really want to cowboy up,
Mhm.
shut my fat mouth, and fast.
Hmm.
And it feels good to do that. Um, that's interesting because it's hitting me right now
Mm.
in a real. It's like, to be honest with you, it feels powerful, and I'm like, oh, okay. So what do you want me to do, Pop? Walk in love,
Hmm.
shut my mouth, and fast, and pray for peace for everybody,
Yep.
including the kayfabers, maybe especially them.
Hmm.
And I don't know what
Well, because you got to keep in mind, there's the kayfabers who know it's
that
kayfabe, and there's
is
kayfabers who
right
are
and true.
unaware.
Mhm.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just saying that there's kayfabers who know it's kayfabe,
What's
and
that?
there's kayfabers who don't know that it's kayfabe, who believe exactly
Right.
the things that they're saying.
Well, okay, then this is a moment of honesty.
Mhm.
My anger isn't at the protesters. Oh, it's
Okay.
at the air quote Christian who is making this drama and cloaking it with Jesus
Yep.
that I'll be honest, that I hate. And that's what caused me a lot of pain.
Mhm.
And I don't feel it coming back on me because I realize my hatred towards him was really in my heart.
Okay.
Like, and so, okay, so here's my cross. And I don't even know if I'm saying it right because I feel something painful going on.
Mhm.
I got to be careful here because I don't want to be flippant.
Give it your best shot.
So this dude that's causing all kinds of negative vibes,
Yep.
like in drama, and I don't even know what to say about him. I feel like my opinion is he's unkosher.
Okay.
So I haven't prayed for him. I don't know what to do about it. And I feel like he's so I don't want this to be about him. I want this to be about me. And what I mean is, what am I doing wrong? How am I not seeing as Christ?
Do you want to know what one of
Like,
my mom's
this
friends?
dude is a sheep.
Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know what one of my mom's friends
No, go for it.
told to her when she? My mom was a convert to Catholicism, and so there was times when she'd be like, "I don't know what to do in this situation." What her friend told her to do when she felt like she couldn't pray for somebody? Pray that they have comfortable shoes. If nothing else, pray that they have comfortable shoes.
And actually, and I'm joking because I do know how to pray for him.
Okay, but you don't
Because
want to.
I'll be honest, I know how to pray.
Okay.
Probably. And that's just me being honest. And that does not excuse like right now in my heart, I feel pain.
Okay.
And it's either because I'm really wrong.
Well, how is it that you're thinking you want to pray for him?
I'm okay with it. Pardon?
How is it that you're thinking you want to pray for him? Because that might be where the hurt is.
Well, I would be like, okay, if I were to do it now, I'd be like, okay, for this person I don't like, Lord, open the eyes of his understanding to know the heights, the depths, the breadths, and widths of your love that passes all understanding. Lord, forgive me for hating him, and forgive him if he's wrong. I think he is, but you didn't ask me to judge other servants. You didn't ask me to judge him. You didn't ask my opinion about it. So I'll just say, Lord, as best you can, bless him with your presence. In Jesus' name, amen.
How'd that prayer feel?
That's a first.
What's the first?
What's that?
What's the first?
You
How did that prayer feel?
you broke up a touch. What was the first?
How? What's you said? That's a first.
Not bad.
And so I was
Because I
asking,
knew I
what's a
didn't want to
first?
do it, and I know I can pray right.
Okay.
Yep. That's the first time I ever prayed for that dude. I have not liked him the moment I laid eyes on him,
Well, that's a good.
and I
thing.
listened to his trip.
Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah, okay, because this is actually good because now I can just wash, rinse, repeat that prayer. I'm like, because I'm not advocating what I think is wrong,
Hmm.
but that's just my opinion. What I can do is always bless someone to know, to know for their heart,
Mhm.
to know God's heart, and for God to know them.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I can never go wrong before in the eyes of God if I say, Lord, open the eyes of their understanding so that they know you.
And Lord God, please
That
take the
okay?
log
Oh,
out of
dude,
my
I've been
or the
blessing
plank out
someone
of
who
my
might
own
be
eyes, so
blind.
that way. Just make sure
Yeah,
you
that's
always put that
probably
as part of the prayer.
that's probably what's going on right now. A little eyes for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Never thought about that. Oh, that part. Oh, yeah, forgot about that. Hi, Lord. Yeah, it's me again. It has been pointed out to me by the management that I might be in some way myopic and dysfunctional in my uh, interior eye, which might be totally jacked. Lord, forgive me. Wow, that's probably it. Dude, that's it. I've been running around with a log in my eye. And it's stuck in my hair. Oh, that explains a little bit. Dagnet. Yeah, for real, this is your fault.
Yep.
If you would have been around, if you would have been around earlier, I wouldn't have to have dealt with all this.
Well,
But
the problem is
no.
that now that I've pulled a log out of your eye, I need to go find the tree that's probably stuck in mine somewhere. So.
Nah, well, I'll tell you what. Here's the thing. One thing at a time.
Mhm.
Because honestly, if you had a log in your eye,
Mhm.
you'd probably be feeling it right now because God convicts. He likes to do the 7-10 split,
Well, it's more of
like
a.
in bowling.
I don't have a
Like
log in my eye about
somebody will
this
give advice
specifically.
that's great. No,
I don't know.
Mm,
I was talking about it earlier, and I didn't say it
yeah.
specifically, but like I had a conversation, like a random run-in with a guy who was in the Marines, um, and like seemed like a really bright kid, and got more into the mode of give advice rather than ask questions and like just let him talk through his own things, and realized that was kind of coming from a place of pride, like doing like because it didn't feel good, or it felt like it was like that was okay, but you are capable of better, was kind of the feeling that I got afterwards. And I'm still not quite like what I just did with you
That
there
was
was
coming.
better, but not perfect.
Mhm. No, to be honest with you, dude. To be honest, no, that was pretty good.
Okay.
I got it. I know it's. I know when it's not good.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I think anybody does.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? When you're like, okay, this is your opinion's good, your advice is good, but your attitude sucks.
Mhm.
But when the advice is good and it's served right,
Mhm.
that I didn't know that's how it works. It's like
Mhm.
I don't know. I think being perfect, don't even bother with that. Just
mean,
going to
Well, it's
was it good enough to help?
Mhm. Well, and it's not about being perfect, but one of the things, like, it's like, how do you teach someone to be able to teach someone to be able to teach someone to be able to teach someone to be a teacher? And like at a certain level of recursion, it's just a matter of
Okay.
like, there's some way of teaching someone to be a teacher that enables them to then teach teachers. And that's something that
Right.
I have been consciously aware of my lack. Like I have come to a level of awareness where I can
Can I
see
gi-
it when
Can
someone
I
else
give you
does it.
my?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing. Because I do understand what you're saying, and you will be doing it. You might already be doing it, but I'll be careful. If you just help someone be, in a Christian way,
Mhm.
the best version of themselves in Christ in that moment,
Mhm.
you're doing it.
Mhm.
To be a good, because you're letting them be themselves with the information.
Mhm.
And what will happen is they'll take it and they learn,
Mhm.
and they're like, oh, that's cool, thanks. And then you'll see them take it and give it in a similar way to you, or they'll walk it out and they'll embody it. And then they'll present it in their own way. And you'll be like, huh, that's neat. It won't look like you exactly,
Mhm.
but you'll see the pattern. And not just the pattern, but you'll see that thing that you shared with someone working in their lives. And then because it's working in their lives, they'll describe it for themselves to the next person, but you'll know that you were part of that process.
Mhm.
So part of your heart, the way you presented it, will probably be reflected in it.
Mhm.
And when you do that with kindness and patience and all that, uh, it shows up.
Mhm.
And it might not be fast, the feedback, but in time, you just keep doing it enough, and you'll get reports. People, it'll be your friends going, hey, I remember when you talked to me about this, and I kind of talked the same way you talked to me when it was helpful. And it's a slow process, but it's one that when you do get the feedback, it's pretty cool. So just helping someone to be the best version of themselves in Christ. You do it for them will model what a teacher looks like. And when they do it for someone else, they won't help but be able to do it similar to what happened for them. That's my thoughts. Because like when this talk was like right now, this was valuable.
Mhm.
Like we went somewhere. I mean, I'm like, all right, and it was fun. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't know we were going to wind up there, but here we are. And I got the advice I needed. I'm like, oh, wait a second, log it. I never thought about that. Oh yeah, that scripture. Forgot about that one. It's probably that's why I was screwing up, because I didn't remember it.
What's this in my eye? Pride? How'd that get there?
That's in my mind. I'm like, oh, yeah. Hey, that attitude sucks. That's been there for a while. Oh, that's what you call a log. They ought to rebrand that. Instead of log in your eye, just say sucky attitude. Just put it in. What's version of the Bible of that? Like, not quite the New Living Translation. It'd just be like the Book of Duh.
The Book of
Like, that's yeah.
I like that.
Just
The Book of
because
You should have known better.
that's it. The parable of the hot pot.
And this is where we
And
don't
the
fall
Lord
back, by the way,
said, "Don't
Slack. Oh my gosh. I'm getting wrecked by spiders. Thankfully there were no creepers that snuck up on me. Oof. Let myself heal a little bit.
I see things flying and dying.
Thankfully, I didn't die. So I think I'm just going to leave that there and go get some chicken. Let these spiders despawn. But yeah, no, I shouldn't. Goodness. Okay, sorry. I'm back.
No. If you need time to mourn.
No, it was just me wanting to continue down a line of conversation that was more self-indulgent than it needed to be. So,
Yeah, well,
yeah, the thing that really, I don't know, keeps me up at night. Maybe that's not the right way of saying
Yeah.
it, but it's close enough.
yeah.
Is because it's easy to love your friends and the people who love you. It's hard to love those
Mhm.
who are hateful, who do cause problems in the
Who
world,
want to kill you.
who want to kill you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, those who want you like Jesus wasn't Jesus. The last miracle Jesus did was
Mhm.
put Malchus's ear back on his head.
Hmm.
Malchus was not a buddy.
No. In
No,
fact, he was
like
arresting Jesus so that Jesus could be taken and killed. So, kind of the opposite of a
Exactly.
buddy.
pretty much. So there's your paradigm of who to heal, everybody,
Yep.
or who to love.
Well,
And then there's the whole.
Mhm.
Oh, go for it.
I was going to say, I think that there's like a timing
Well,
thing, though.
the Father
that there's-
forgive him. I'm like,
Times and places, like, I don't know. I don't know if
Mhm.
that's the case or not, but like, I don't think God wants you to intervene when both parties are in the wrong, unless you can like actually get them to stop. But that sometimes there are instances it's like, no, they need to be given the opportunity to fight it out for whatever reason or another, and it's like it's not your job to
Well,
intervene. It's not your job to
okay,
force them to come to peace.
sure. No.
And I don't really like
Yeah,
that
I
as
agree.
an answer, but
And
I don't know of a better one.
well, you just don't let them kill each other. And
Well, maybe you don't have the
I
power to.
I don't
prevent
know
it, though.
exactly what you're talking about. Okay, let's go with. Okay, then let's go. Let's put it in real world right now. Do you have anything that you can like give me something like we got Israel, we
Oh man.
got Gaza, we got no king protest, we got
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, there's I got skin in the game in all these,
Mhm.
and like here's your Christianity.
Mhm.
It's live.
Yep.
So pick one that you think really is worth
Well, and do you want?
worth our time to
Well,
say.
Are you? Are any of them worth fighting for one side versus the other and dying for, or are you just adding fuel to a fire? Like that's
Don't know what you mean exactly yet.
well, just like
Are we talking about Israel? Are we talking about protests?
well, I think that there's well, any of them really, but the how to get at this. Actually, I don't even know how to begin to get at it. Like, I don't think that Israel has been blameless. I think that they are
Okay.
throwing a punch that they
Right.
probably shouldn't have been throwing in the first place because they know that Big Daddy USA is going to come bail them out if they get into some real trouble. Yes, I am also
Well,
concerned about Iran getting
that
a hold of nukes. That's not a great thing either, but at the same time, like,
right.
I don't know. I
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the strike at the nuclear
Yep.
stuff. Now, that one, though, you need to know, because both you and I know
Mhm.
what we're hearing on seeing on all the news sources is not what's going on.
It's heavily
Because we
curated.
don't know their motivation. We don't know. Well, oh, yeah, but let's just go with, let's just go with what we know for sure.
Okay.
A nuclear facility of some sort in Iran was hit by a missile.
Yep.
That's the only absolute fact that everyone agrees on. After that, well, I never really said it like that. After that, you just don't know who did what. Do you understand what I'm getting at?
Well,
It's who's pulling the strings on that one. Yes, Israel probably did it.
mm.
But okay, is it kind of landing on you?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty
Because
sure. Did Israel not claim the missile for themselves? Like, did they not say that it was them who did it already? I genuinely don't
but
know. I didn't think
I'm
that
just
that
saying.
was in question.
I don't know. I don't know who's really, after what I've learned of politics and what I've seen behind the curtain.
Mhm.
The news is saying yes, Israel did it on their own. However, a missile strike like that probably doesn't get done in a bubble. And just,
I would hope
you know,
not,
that
but
other people don't know what's going on.
yeah, I don't know.
Right.
When you
Okay.
get to that level of power,
All right.
people get a little weird.
Right.
Also, Grizz,
All right. So
if Trump named the missile the Liberty, then that is a very anti-Semitic name for a missile. I can't believe that he would do something like that. How dare he?
why would I? And I'm not. I don't even understand that one.
Do you know about the USS Liberty?
Liberty.
The USS Liberty was a
Nope.
signals ship.
Was it
that-
full of Jewish one got sunk?
No. The state of Israel attacked the ship for questionable no, I don't know if it's been disclosed why they attacked the ship, but the theory is that it was like a signals ship that picked up something that Israel didn't want it to pick up, and so and they didn't just attack it a little bit; they went hard after it. So
Oh.
like shooting lifeboats,
they just
shooting
did.
people in lifeboats.
All right. Listen, I'm not. All right.
And now I have been blacklisted by Jacob Federici
Okay, that's
because
pretty
this
bad.
is on the anti-Semitic iceberg. Hooray!
Well, wait a second. Now, I'm Jewish,
Mhm.
and I got friends in Israel,
Mhm.
family. Like, I'm not freaking or tweaking.
Mhm.
Here, I'll give it an example of what I can say easily.
Okay.
And it's not like I'm anybody. I'm just a landscaper. A long time ago, in a place called Iran, there were 50 hostages that were American being held by during the Carter administration.
Yep.
During this time, somebody that was friends with my family worked at the State Department.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant people. And my dad is about as blunt as a railroad spike and looked at this person during a private, just family get together. And let's just call them Bob. This is not their name. So looked at Bob and said, "So Bob, what's going on in what's going on here?"
Mm-hmm.
And it was the most uncouth, blunt question you could ever do in a dinner party.
Okay.
And this guy, you'd like him.
Okay.
He just gave a wry smile very small. And it was very genuine. And he just looks at my dad and he goes, "Don't worry about it." And at that moment, I was like, oh my gosh. I just got a ringside seat behind the Wizards curtain.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it's okay. It's being dealt with.
Well,
And now the TV, yeah, so there's a disconnect between what we see
yep.
and what is going on. And I'm not saying that's always wrong. And everybody doesn't need to know everything all the time. But it's just, like you look at what you can see. A missile blew up.
Yep.
Who sent it for sure? Don't know. But it definitely got there.
Yep.
So things in Gaza, I have no idea how bad it is.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I'm hearing, pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to deny that. That doesn't make. But so I'm not saying things haven't happened.
Mm-hmm.
But what are we talking about? And what, like okay, like I'll give you. Okay, before I go rabbit trail down my personal issues, venting them and just dealing with them,
Mhm.
What is it that we were talking about? And I just brought up a bunch of subjects and I dumped them on the table. What were you thinking about talking about and why?
What was it specifically?
Because we were talking about walking around with logs in our eyes,
Yep.
with my attitude towards this.
We were talking about
And
pride.
so-
We were talking about teaching teachers. We were talking about.
Mhm.
What were we talking about?
Well, and that's we're grabbing at the ends of, because was it putting this stuff into practical application? Because there was
Well, I think the
there was
concern for
you
me.
had.
The concern for me isn't so much putting it into practical. Oh, it was. Well, I think the question that I asked, or one of the questions I asked, was like, are any of these conflicts ones that you feel so strongly about that even as a Christian you want to go and fight and die for them, or is it something where it's like, is there a better answer? Is there a better way of trying to deal with conflicts like this than
Mhm.
just like, and like, I'm not saying that fighting is never the right answer. I think that it is, but
Which conflict? I guess, yeah, because we've got maybe two different conflicts. One that's a real war
yeah,
in the Middle East, and then internally, it seems like kayfabe gone bad,
Mhm.
or just kayfabe doing kayfabe, and it's not kinetic. There's not. So there's okay. So those are your two conflicts,
well, you also have your Russia.
and you were
Ukraine.
asking which one. Oh well, and I'm just trying to that one that seem to be affecting Americans the most.
Hmm.
But okay, yeah,
That's fair.
there's Russia, Ukraine. So
Because the other thing that also
What
that's
is it
been on my
Mhm.
mind about all that is having played a fair amount of a strategy game called Europa Universalis 4. I am
Mhm.
painfully aware of what happens when you go without a war for a long time, and that you have like a whole bunch of different actors are all waiting for somebody else to be involved in a different conflict, so that way they can make gains and close out their war like quickly enough that the other person doesn't have the chance to intervene. And so that's what I'm
Right.
afraid of, is like
All right. Okay, so that's what you're afraid of. Okay, so now.
things blowing up from a small isolated conflict into something that
Okay,
is going
I
to
agree
be
with you.
everybody
Right.
like, oh yeah, stuff kicks off to where we start committing stuff to
So,
Iran in support of Israel, and then all of a
well,
sudden
here's the
China's
thing.
invading Taiwan and Russia's
Well,
attacking
okay, now
Finland
the
and South
the
America is doing
reason
something
I'm
else.
the reason I'm interrupting
Mhm.
is I'm going to start and circle around to the words my fear.
Mhm.
That's the in my opinion, that's where you go. That's where you drill. That's where your answer's at.
Well, it's a
It's really, to
stupid
be
thing.
honest,
Like
Mhm.
the thing
It's
is
a
that
stupid thing. What?
it's a stupid thing to be worried about because the level of like control or effect that I
Why?
have over any of those is so
Okay,
minuscule, and the place and the time that
correct.
I should be focusing my effort is on my own personal relationships, my own personal domain, and like not letting
No,
like the risk of a tsunami hitting somewhere else distract me and prevent me from doing good for the people around me, like because
okay,
that's where my attention should be.
correct. There's also okay. So now, but you're doing it now by allowing me to grill you
Yep.
because I'm not allowing you to go where your fear's at. And
Yep.
a few things that you might not yet know um, strong enough within yourself
Okay.
that you are growing in. And boy, I don't know how this sounds, dude. You're you're missing the point, or I want to say this real correct.
Mhm.
Dude, you're missing the strength of your real power, which is in prayer.
Mm.
Prayer is either an absolute total waste of time or it's actually more powerful than any weapon on earth.
With the faith of a mustard seed, you could
And
move mountains.
it, exactly. So imagine you're at a drive up window
Mm.
and Jesus is there with an old school pad and paper going, he's got the little paper hat thing on and drives up. He's got the good smile and he goes, "What do you want?"
Mm-hmm. Oh, do you? Oh, okay. Here's the problem. I don't know what I want, and I know that what I have wanted in the past
Okay. Then
has been not
let me
great.
flip the script then.
Okay.
Let me flip the script. Let me interrupt and
Okay.
say, what is the opposite of your fear? Everything you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
what would be the opposite of that?
The opposite of that would be, like, to take it to the highest level that I can think of. How do
In a simple way.
how do I love the people in my immediate sphere, including and especially those who have not committed to loving others, and especially those who have committed to loving themselves at the exclusion and expense of others? How do I love them well
Mhm.
such that they become the kinds of people who love others as well?
Well, if you were to say that to Jesus, that might kind of sort of sound like a prayer. Faith is
Like, actually
the
direct that
substance
question
of things
as a
hoped
prayer to
for,
God
the
instead of
evidence.
just, okay.
Yep. There you go.
Okay.
You're allowed. And
Hang
it's
on.
effective.
Let me do it right now then.
All right.
God, I don't know how you would necessarily go about it. And I know that there's different levels of these things, and that what I'm really asking for is like how to do it where I'm at right now. But if you can, if I'm not too stubborn, if I'm not too unteachable, please show me and teach me how to properly love those who are either oriented selfishly or who are oriented so selfishly that they act for their benefit at the expense of others. How to love them well such that they become the kinds of people who also choose to love others. Amen.
Amen. Dude, you just did it. You just dealt with your own log in your eye.
Well, and now we get to see how God answers that prayer, because that's always the most interesting
Well,
aspect of prayers.
Ah, dude, it's gonna suck. Listen, it's gonna suck. It always sucks. You know, I mean, I'm
And
not
Jesus,
trying
can I
to
get
say.
an order of fries with that too?
Yeah, exactly. And maybe it doesn't suck, but you know, if you're like, all right, you're like, he likes, yeah. And also, but the thing is because when you wash, rinse, repeat that kind of prayer,
Mhm.
when we step into us examining our fears or our hatreds or stuff like that, that's what it is. I think it's weeding the garden of your soul, your mind, taking captive every thought that exalts itself
Mhm.
against the knowledge of God. My attitude against this dude exalted itself against the knowledge of God.
Mhm.
I was wrong. And you thinking, in my opinion, you thinking you couldn't do anything about these problems. I'm like, you brought them to the surface. And you're like, huh, well, there's this prayer thing. Okay, let's swing this bat now and see what happens.
Mhm.
I think that's Christianity at its best.
Mhm.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's when you're doing it. When you practice that,
Mhm.
It's
When you make that a
It's
habit, when
a-
you're not just like,
a skill. Yeah.
when you're
Yeah.
not just being a convert in a foxhole
And
kind of
we're
thing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, converts in the foxholes, that can work out, but
Well, but ideally
why
you're
not
coming and sharing in that
before
well in
you, yeah, but
advance.
here's Mhm.
Mhm.
Yep. And that I think that makes for a lot of a different kind of experience.
Mhm.
It's like going to the gym on your own and
Versus going for
changing.
physical therapy.
It's hard work. It's a drudgery.
Mhm.
Yep. Oh, that's funny. I like that. Yeah. One way or another, you're going to the gym.
Mhm. You're gonna do it before, and like you're gonna feel better all the time, or you're gonna wait until you're injured and doing really not well, and then you're gonna have to
Yeah.
work at it real hard to get back to normal. That's real good, actually.
Yeah. I think. Wow. That is pretty funny. It's like, yeah, that's about right.
Yep. And I think
I
Grizz is right too.
complicated.
That you have to
And
not
I
be
think-
attached to the outcome. Is the other part of it too.
I think that's interesting. I'm learning. You're probably right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's something about faith in the moment. Yeah, and letting go. I'd have to agree. Yeah, I understand that one.
Mhm.
I hope, but I'm like, okay, God, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but at this point now, I look for it to, like, oh boy, here we go. Like, I'm gonna just shut up. I feel like this was, yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Not, I think there is some, which I'm trying to navigate what's going on in my heart right now.
Mhm.
I think having expectations or hopes aren't wrong.
No.
And
But you can't lie to somebody about things in order to try and get them to be a good person.
oh
That's not gonna work out in the
no,
long
just
run.
the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think no, just the opposite on that one. Now what I've learned, if you want someone to be a good person, you just tell them, like, okay, this is what's up. Whatever it may be in the moment, and I usually almost put my not my worst foot forward, but actually I think I'm starting to do that quite a bit now. It's like I just talked to some kid like last week after church, and he was like coming to church, and he's like, "Yeah, I was raised in church, and I know what I'm doing wrong." And he goes, "I want to come back and all that." And I'm like, "Okay, well," I'm like, you just did when you just said it." He looked at me like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, the moment you want back in the club, you really never left." And he's like, "All right." And I said, "Oh, but it's going to suck."
Yep.
Because you're going to have to change.
Yep.
And don't expect it to be easy, and don't.
No.
And he was
Gosh,
like, he took it with a grain of salt. So for me, like it was weird. I just had in my imagination, I had the Israeli flag pop up. Things after COVID, things settled down, and it seemed like it was getting back to normal-ish. And this just seems like an artificially contrived water balloon of gas thrown on some embers, or at least just water balloon of gas and someone hitting a lighter and causing an artificial strife.
Okay.
And I think eventually it's going to come to Israel again, relationship with Israel, not so much Israel, but just being Jewish in general. Don't know, I hope not, but I've already come, like I've been chewing on this, like, okay, do I love my life? Well, wait a second, I want to be careful. I don't want to, like, okay, remember when I stopped you on your fear?
Yep.
And we just took that one apart?
Yep.
My fear, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What is this thing? My fear is society's going crazy.
Yep.
And I feel like I'm concerned that it's like Isaiah, I think he said, good will be called bad and bad will be called good.
Yep.
And I wonder if that's what I'm living in. And then, this might crack you up. And if let's say it was the end times, I don't think it is. We still have time. I just think people are acting stupid.
I'm in the camp that end times
go.
are perennial, that it's something that always comes around again. So.
Okay, all right. So let's just go with perennial, and I won't go end times. It'll just be another end time. It'll just be perennial. So then that means we just have tribalism and racism coming to a theater near you. That's my fear. And hate it. I'm like, just to be hated just because you're Jewish. And I'm like, okay, here we go again. But it just seems like, okay, if that is it, and I need to be ready and I need to pray and fast and walk in love. Because there's this lady named Cora Timboom, who was, she was in the concentration camps, her and her sister. They got betrayed by friends, and her sister died in the concentration camp. And then she met the guard years later. And he's like, oh, Cora, I remember you in the camps, and I gave my life to Christ, and my sins are forgiven. Isn't that wonderful? And she looked at him, and because he had his hand out to shake hands.
Mm.
And she said I didn't want to shake his hand.
Mm.
And the best I can remember the conversation she said is she had an internal dialogue with God going, I don't want to shake his hand.
Mm-hmm.
The guy goes, do you know him? And she goes, nope. And then God goes, have I forgiven you? And she goes, yes. And she's like, oh man. And so she just, by faith, not by feelings, she reached up and took his hand and shook it. And she goes, then in that moment, there was a movement of the Holy Spirit in her heart where she felt God's love
Mm-hmm.
in her heart for this guy. And she forgave him. So, and I was raised in Hebrew school with people who were in the concentration camps and saw what it did to them. And so I'm facing a fear that might be totally wrong, totally jive. Or just, not jive. An illusion of my mind. And I'm wondering if the only way to get rid of these thoughts is if I am going to have these thoughts, then my question to myself would be, do I forgive them? And actually talking to you like now is like, yeah, I do. I might need to repeat the process a few times and remember it, but I will say this late, I will say, listen, I've experienced God's love where it flows like Niagara Falls and it's overwhelming and you can endure anything for his namesake. And that's what I'm walking back towards. So that, if it happens, fine. But to be honest, most of the times it never happens. And I might just be wasting my life allowing Satan to get in my head.
What?
Getting, living there rent free, wasting, wasting.
Back up and say that again.
in my
What are you
life
doing
instead
wasting
of-
your life letting Satan get in?
Well, No. If I let false emanations go over my fear, then I'm letting Satan into my mind, living there rent free, with fear, doubt, unbelief, anxiety, woulda, shoulda, couldas, or maybe's, the boogeyman of the future. I'm like, dude, I'm in the middle of Ohio with, nice weather and good people around me. I need to not miss the beauty that is happening around me now and not miss the beauty that is available to me from heaven. And not worrying about those things and receiving his love makes it worth it. Even though those things at times they feel like they're like you're doing something by worrying about them or thinking about them. But really, I think, I think those are that's, I hope that doesn't sound hard, but that's a wasted life or a missed life.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound okay.
Well, you're
don't wanna
not
sound
being
mean, but-
too judgmental with that, I don't think. I think that is appropriately judgmental. Does that make sense?
Okay. All right. That's cool. Yeah, no, actually that helps because then when it does, because these thoughts always come back to everybody, or at least me. Not all the time, but I'm like, okay, I ain't got time for you. I've already dealt with you. You're the same song. Don't like you. You know, the Catholics have these this trifecta: the good, the beautiful, and the true.
Mhm.
I'm like, if it ain't that, why, why bother? Okay, next. Just forcing
you-
myself to.
Well, like this is a PvP server. Like you're gonna be forced to bother with that kind of stuff because there's other people who want to inflict it on others. Like that's just part of the game we
Right.
play, like it or not.
Right, right. Um,
But it's how do you respond
Like
to
for
that?
me,
Do you
the-
respond to that with fear? Do you
Right.
respond to that with hate, or do you respond to it with love?
okay, so this is what's been in my mind.
Mm.
This is the image of my fear and that I think I'm processing. When Israel got attacked, and I'm like a year, a while ago, and I saw this guy. I think it was his left hand grabbing the hair of this girl, like just from the back of her head. You could tell he was just manhandling her, and she was getting into the bus, and there was blood running down her leg, and I was like, this is evil.
Yep.
This is, and then this is what, okay, this is my fear. And then I think it was the next day, there were pro-Palestinian protests throughout the world. It was either a day or two afterwards. Might have been one day. And that's when, I don't know what the word is. I don't know if it was shock or a disbelief. But and when I saw the world not call BS on it, that to me is what I think is the underlying current of what's going on in the world. And so, if I'm wrong, that's one thing.
Well,
But
I don't
let's say
think
I'm
that
right.
you're wrong there. I think that it is messed up, but like the thing that bugs me with that is it doesn't happen in a vacuum, and I'm not trying to say that like that justifies that behavior, but
I'm listening.
like one of the things that I've seen get pointed out, and like yes, it's kind of up in the air of whether you want to believe this is true or not, but it seems likely that Israel had advanced intelligence of the fact that there was going to be an attack, and they deliberately let people through in order to provide a justification for them to go ham in Gaza. And it's like, okay, like that means that Israel's own government had a hand in
that's okay.
allowing that to happen.
Okay, so right. Okay, all right. Let's say okay. So then we're back. Okay, let's say yes.
Okay.
Let's just for the sake of all right. From my perspective, what you said, like whether reason and cause, and okay, fine. That can be. I'm willing to go down that road and find out.
Okay.
But what just going back in time for the experience of what I experienced, I think it was on the third day after the attack is when the pro-Palestinian protests were, and this was before Israel went into Gaza. They were calling for a controlled, measured response. That's what wigged me out. And the reason it wigged me out is there were no, okay, so that's where, no, instead of, okay, that's what wigged me out. And I think that's kind of what I'm expecting for now on. When I see something horrendous and there's no response saying, hey, that was horrendous.
I see. Okay.
And, okay, yeah, that's where I'm going. And that's what I'm dealing with. That's the imagination in my mind. That's the fearful imagination, because that's All right, that's
I
it.
think that part of the problem with
so the
that
question-
particular aspect is that American colleges have been programming their graduates' minds to see everything in terms of oppressor-oppressed dynamics. And if you look at it
Oh,
through that
and-
lens, like any response by the Palestinians is justified against the Israelis, even if it is as horrific as brutal, like raping and then murdering people. Like that's in their minds, that's a justified response, which is fucked up and
Okay, this
should
is-
not be the case.
No. Let's say I just say okay to that.
Okay.
Like this is gonna like this is my
Okay.
judo.
Okay.
Yeah, let's say no. I'm gonna
What?
say okay.
Okay.
This isn't about them. This is about me. This is me dealing with my fear. The only thing
I'm sorry.
I can't.
I know
change
that's
up
not how you
anything.
meant it, but the way that came across was hilarious. Continue.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, fine. Yeah.
Women
I know
getting
it.
brutally raped and murdered
Yeah,
in Palestine? Pfft, I need to worry about Ron Copperman's salvation. That's what's really important right now.
Well, here's the thing.
I know that's not
because-
what you meant.
I know, because I've trust me, I've heard myself, and I've got myself into trouble that way before. Because what I'm trying to do is, yeah, I know. They're like, what did you just say? I'm like, you don't understand.
No, that's not
the
how I
way
meant it.
If it's like, fine, you win. Yeah. No, that got me into trouble just recently. I'm like, and I had to do the same thing. I'm like, no, that's
No.
not what I meant. I'm not advocating it. Yeah. It's what it is
Mhm.
that's, I maybe a better way for me to say is that's not the issue.
Okay. What do
You
you
know,
see the issue as then?
yeah, that, to be honest, that's a better word. It's me
Okay. How are you
and the way I interact with the world.
Okay.
Well, it's for me being fearful
Mhm.
and not loving. That's the simple answer.
Okay.
And I know I'm on the right trail talking about this, and I've had enough time to process it. But it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
Like, that's how Satan works. If it worked once, he's going to do it again.
Even if it
And
didn't,
if he got me
sometimes
on one thing,
he'll pepper you.
he's like, oh, yeah, exactly. But
It's not always about
I
breaking
simply
you in
go,
the moment. Oftentimes, it's just about slowly wearing you down until you eventually do break.
exactly. That's exactly it. And the only way I know to not let it break me
Mhm.
is to do exactly this.
Just talk about it.
Because, yeah, and it's getting better.
Mhm.
It's getting better. It's because even now I'm like, okay, I've had enough examples in my life of how to do it correctly, and I've had enough experience with God to know he's real and he's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing would, and I've done it once before, I'm like, Lord, I forgive those that have attacked and raped and murdered. I forgive them in Jesus' name. And Lord, forgive me for hatred and fear. I pray, I'll just leave it at that. There's something, I know what this is. I know that was a weird prayer for me. I know biblically it's correct.
Mhm.
Well, and it's like, okay, I think I should just leave it like, Lord, I forgive them their sins and trespasses. Forgive me mine. And I'll just leave it there in Jesus' name. Amen. I was feeling like dude, I feel stuff all the time, and it's trying to discern it. It's like, so I'll just assume that if I'm feeling some sort of feedback, it's just time for me to shut my mouth and just good enough prayer, leave it alone, move on.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's just the way to walk through this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't been able to talk to many people about this.
It's hard to.
It's, yeah.
Well, especially,
it's,
how many of the people that you've tried to talk to about it are Jewish and so have a very strong emotional buy-in on whatever the opinion of the person who's sitting across from them is?
like zero. I mean, the closest one has been Jacob.
Okay.
And, but even he's gonna, he's not bad, but he has a different lens in his life. But I need a Christian lens, not just a Jewish one. I need someone who's just brutally Christian, who doesn't care about my feelings, who just cares about me being on track with God. Because if you help me get on track with God in a brutally honest way, my emotions will be okay. It's at this time, I don't need to fly by my feelings, my sight. I need to fly by instrumentation, because I'm in the dark and it's a little bit stormy. And I can trust the instrumentation of the Bible for sure. And I'll be honest, also, the altimeter of my heart when it's with Christ, when Jesus is talking, I can trust that. And having someone to be like a second opinion on me flying by this kind of instrumentation is valuable. Because then I can get a confirmation. I'm like, yeah, I'm right side up and I'm on course. So
a co-pilot or a navigator? What are you asking for here?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Okay.
It's, yeah. I think that's what we do for each other in the body of Christ. It's like, all right, what do you think? And you're like, all right, what you got? And you dump it out. You line it up against truth. And then you try to have a merciful opinion about it. It's not about just right and wrong and law. It's about how does mercy and grace fit well into this story. And I did learn one thing from the Catholics, well, a couple of things. But one of the things is whenever there is a prophetic word or moment, the way this one priest told me goes, does it have a redemptive end? And if it does, that's a pretty good indication that there's Jesus. If it just ends in doom, gloom, despair, and blah, blah, probably not God.
No.
But when there's, when it's, it could be doom, gloom, despair, and dark, and misery, blah, blah, blah. But there's a happy ending in some way. Probably God. So.
Well, I think also that's kind of part of what Christianity is it's the calling to find the happy ending even in the darkness, to find some way to make things good even when everything seems bad.
Yep. That's exactly it. And the only time I've ever really, that's it. The only time I've really gotten in trouble is when I've taken my eyes off of the spiritual realm within my own heart and put the eyes of my heart in the physical realm. And then it just goes bad. I've heard someone say, don't be so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good. My opinion is, really, why don't you show me? Well, but my my sarcastic retort to that would be,
Uh-huh.
because I think I have been so heavenly minded that I was no earthly good.
Uh-huh.
And to be honest, I miss that. And I'm not saying I was useless or a goofball, but when you can have Christ, when you can have the Holy Spirit
Mhm.
minister in your heart, and you're completely satisfied, and you look like a goofball because your life is not aligning with the world,
Mhm.
that's okay.
Mhm.
Stay there. Wow, actually, that one speaks to me.
Mhm.
So it'll probably happen again to me. It's just that this time, the next time,
Mhm.
I'll be satisfied with it, and I won't look for the things that got me into trouble. Which pretty
What were
much
the
was
things
my
that got
own
you into trouble?
opinion.
That's probably the best way to continue that.
Yeah, it was when I got into ministry with my buddy. Dude, we were gangbusters. We were plowing them, like, and also got into business with a friend, the same buddy. And the business went bad. Then I put the ministry above walk with God. I got my identity from the ministry instead of just God himself.
Mm.
And that was my fault.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually lost the business and the ministry just closed up because the facility closed, but my relationship with God got really jacked. Unforgiveness, bitterness, a lot of demon and depression into my life.
Mm-hmm.
Got it out by forgiveness, but haven't quite been right since.
Okay.
And I'm getting better a lot. And what I've learned is I went through some hard times because of my own actions. I've learned what not to do anymore. Don't resentment, bitterness, anger, whatever, all that stuff.
Mm.
And to not go through it alone, to talk it out, be honest, which is this. This is actually, I think this is confession action. And because we Protestants don't have, Catholics and Orthodox, I think, I don't know. Catholics got it for sure. You got that whole Catholic sealed confessional thing, which I'm not saying is perfect, but it's pretty good. You know, confess. So this is my version of confession. And it makes a freaking world of difference. It makes an eternity of difference. And so I'm going to keep it up. And so avoid the crazy of my past. You know, the things I've done wrong, don't do those again. And it is getting easier because once you get hurt hard enough, you're like, okay, it's enough. But the flip side of that is once you learn not to get hurt hard enough, you do appreciate the simple goodness that you've had once it's restored.
Yep.
And then you get to value it. And I think you get to return to the spiritual places that you might have gone, that you've lost. Kind of like the prodigal son going back to the father's house.
Yeah.
You don't come back to Christ and just be a servant. It's whoever you were before that you don't think you can get back to. He's like, I never
Not
said
only
that.
you're going to get back to that,
It's
you're going
not
to
in
get way
the-
more.
That'd be something.
The hard
I
part of
wouldn't
that, though,
complain.
is
Yeah, all right.
the
No,
the
you know
not
what?
prodigal
Let me shut up
son.
and just say, okay. No, let me just shut up and say, okay, because that actually sounded like a prophetic word. I don't know why, but that sounded like declarative word. I'm like, you know what? My answer is yes. Okay, I'll take that. It's
Well, the tough part is that the non-prodigal son
it's interesting, but that
usually has a hard time accepting that, and I've not had the opportunity to share this wisdom with somebody who needed to hear it yet, but the thing that I would try and say to someone in that position is there's no way that you're going to understand why you shouldn't be jealous without having gone through it yourself, but you really shouldn't be jealous of the prodigal son. Like, yes, he's getting love and attention that you feel like you're being denied. You don't understand what he went through and has now come out the other side. Like, you don't want that. You don't want, like,
right.
He wouldn't wish that on his worst enemy.
Yeah, testimony.
But I don't know how you can actually communicate that to somebody without them having gone through it themselves. Like, that's the really hard part of that.
Okay, the way you can communicate it is saying, you don't need to be a drug addict who almost died to have God come save you. All you need is a desire for God to come and talk with you. Let your desire to know, just express your desire to know him, and don't give up until you get what you want.
You don't have to be a heroin addict to know and love God.
Yeah, to
you can skip that step.
Experience his freedom.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. And yeah.
Would you be jealous if you knew how many roosters he had to vacuum? Oh, I think I know where you're going with that, Grizz. But let's not do that. No vacuuming of roosters.
Okay. Okay, that sounds. Oh, coming from
It's either masturbation or prostitution, one of the two. I'm assuming masturbation.
I feel pain. I'm just gonna. No, I feel pain. I need to move along. Hot pot, hot pot, hot pot, hot pot, hot pot, hot pot, hot pot. Okay. I'm sure there's a deep theological comment somewhere here, but this is not coming from me. What to say about this one? I'm like, I need to run away. You know, that's funny thing about going through what I've gone through. Oh Lord, I don't even know. I don't even know if I want to know.
Go for it.
Because there's something common. No. Well, here's the thing. After you become the prodigal, or the prodigal comes home, dude, I bet you he was the quietest, most well-behaved,
heck yeah,
boring looking. And then when he had kids, I bet you they were really well-behaved. I bet you they didn't get away with nothing.
Nope.
And they were probably happier for it.
Yep.
You know, it's so, yeah, so the prodigal, yeah, because actually the parable ends on, isn't the father talking with the older son? You know, he's like, you know, haven't I, the thing I'd simply say is, haven't, you know, God's saying, haven't I been with you this whole time?
Yep.
Which means
and that's
you got
the
access
thing too.
to him.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too, is like it's more like in your face apparent because there's this giant outpouring of love for the prodigal son. But what the non-prodigal son is failing to appreciate is that he has had way more than that cumulatively over the same period where the prodigal son was separated from. And that's the thing that he's not thinking about. He's not taking it into account because he doesn't see.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand the difference in experience that he had relative to the prodigal son while prodigal son was in perdition, and so he's assuming that he's been hunky-dory fine, like God's been loving him this whole time, and now God also loves him like so much more now that he's finally come back into the fold. Like, that's not okay. It's like, no, you don't understand. He was choosing not to see God that whole time. He said, I don't wanna. I'm gonna ignore it at his peril. And then it wasn't until he finally came back.
Right. Well, and this kind of the log in the eye kind of a moment comes to mind. Like, it's the one I'm like, dude, that's kind of scary, because that means the prodigal or the older brother has got a big old beam in his eye.
Yep.
And he is seeing darkly, which that's not cool. That's just a thought. It's just, but getting back to your comment about for those that haven't gone crazy, I think, because I've come across that at TLC, there's been people that said, well, I never had your experience. I haven't been crazy. And I'm like, and I've said that. It's like, you don't need crazy to know Jesus. You just need a desire, hunger. And it encourages them in a good way. And
well, especially somebody who has gone through that. For somebody who has gone through that to say with confidence, it's like, you don't need these experiences. Right.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, it's
also, I'm vacuuming my
funny,
wicker,
but I never
not
thought
a rooster, Grizz. Before you start making snarky comments.
Lord. I'm gonna start rebuking somebody. I feel it. I'm about to open me a can of Pentecostal here.
I mean, if you're gonna rebuke anybody, you should probably rebuke the rooster vacuumer who can't seem to stop, rather than the person who is being accusatory towards the rooster vacuumer.
You stay out of my head. I don't know what
It's masturbation.
Oh, dude, I don't even want to know. Okay. I'm running. All right, fine. All right, great. Thanks a lot. Bye. Okay, that's a rebuke. Negative 10 points for Gryffindor.
Okay.
Whatever that is. Jeez. Well. All right, we'll just putting that under grace. All right, clean the blood and moving on. Oh, I just got over my painful ear ringing. I don't need any other craziness in my head.
Hey, if you're going to be talking about your sins, I get to talk about mine, Rod.
Oh, Lord. All right, fine. Okay, you are not. No one is defined by. No, fine. You want to? Okay, you just opened up a can, boy.
Okay.
Here it comes.
Okay.
You are not defined by your sin. Nobody is. Anybody who defines themselves from their sins is sinning, because you are defined by the cross, not by your sins. Never. You might have a moment of sin. It doesn't matter what that sin is. I don't want to know.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. They are all forgiven. The only thing that defines you is the cross.
Is how
in
you
the words of Jesus. It is a hat. Here's the thing. I guess I'm not going to say don't repent of your sins, but the problem isn't sin, it's identity. It's having improper identity outside of Christ.
Okay.
Yeah. Because once you identify with Christ in proper relationship, he puts our minds and our hearts and our bodies into relationship that is ordered in a different way than the world. And what I mean bluntly is our desires change in a radical way that most people in the world don't understand. And to be honest with you, most people in church don't even know. or are willing to believe it's possible,
Mhm.
and they're wrong. And they're living a Christian life from their experience that's limited, and they're not willing to believe that God can change core foundations in us that we think are unchangeable. That's
Well,
just who we are.
I
No,
would say that he can't change them without
not
our
at all.
permission. We have to let him in if that's gonna
No,
change.
actually, no, wait, no, wait a second. Maybe then, and I do understand what you're saying, but a drowning man
Mhm.
just has to say help.
Yes, but he has to say help. In
He
this case.
doesn't have to define, or let's say it's a child. Yeah, let's say it's just a child. They just know they're in pain, and they just cry. They don't have to define anything. They just know they don't like where they're at.
The problem with this
And then it
analogy, though,
is
is that God, like, yes, God can pull you out when you say help,
okay.
but there's a
Then
lot of
let me
people
just-
who have
then let me
deliberately been
just tell
throwing
you
themselves off
bluntly,
the boat.
You
Yeah.
Okay,
he'll
so
vacuum
let's
his
say,
rooster. Oh
let-
yeah. Sorry.
all
Slack
right.
put
So
one in
my
there.
answer
Had
is
to.
okay. So okay. So then let me go with no again,
Mhm.
and I'll give you a real case. This is a real life story of my extended family.
Mhm.
Kids went to church, had bad experience in church, had a bad experience with their parents at church, and became Satanists. And I'm not talking about
Oh.
your white. I'm talking about real full on
Like,
Satanists. I
not
mean,
the edgy
Satanists,
atheist
dude, like
folks, like the actual, like,
no,
theological atheist.
dude, like dude. Oh, I mean, like full on F you, Jesus.
Yep.
I'm out. Hey, Satan, let's go smoke a joint.
Yep.
And um, then had their father beat to death because he became a a millionaire pot grower.
Okay.
And then they became possessed, demonically possessed.
Mhm.
And these demons were driving them, and they found a running vehicle, and they were going to go kill themselves. Just punch it and find a cliff or something like that.
Mhm.
They get arrested, and while they're arrested, the demons are talking through this kid.
Yep.
And like he knows what's going on. And he's like, wait a second. Like this is like a real, he's in a bad spot. And he goes, wait a second. I was raised in church. I know how to deal with this.
Mhm.
He goes, in the name of in the name of Jesus, get out of me.
Mhm.
And he goes, he had 3 of them. He said 2 left. The last one wouldn't leave.
Mhm.
He was like, ain't going nowhere. The last one was suicide.
Mhm.
But it was a real spirit of suicide.
Mhm.
And he's watching YouTube videos, like he's got arrested, got booked, and he's on parole or whatever on bail.
Mhm.
And he's watching YouTube, and him and his buddy were doing drugs, and they started watching Exorcists.
Mhm.
Father Chad Rippinger, I think it is his name.
Mhm.
So Rippinger is saying, yeah, demons, they want to kill us, and they want us to kill ourselves.
Yep.
And when you said that, fellow's name is Jeremiah.
Mhm.
I won't use anything else.
Yep.
But Jeremiah goes, what did he say? And he starts playing, goes, yeah, demons will do this. Like, he starts naming off all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
And in such a perfect way that he had experienced, he goes, "Oh my gosh, this really is the demon,
Mm-hmm.
and this Catholic priest really is right." And he goes, "Okay, you let the last one, you gotta go."
Mm-hmm.
And it did. He's still a mess, mind you. He's an empty vessel at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a mess and he's miserable. Now, during this time, he has a strong suspicion he knows who killed his father, bludgeoned his father to death with a cane. It was some Aryans who wanted to buy. We're trying to rip him off for his $1 million because he had it in a safe.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he was the moment of it because he was so miserable. I think at this point he had been processed. He was doing time for the theft, and they found out who killed his father, and it was actually one of his friends.
Oh.
Or, acquaintances. Yeah. It was part of the circle of people who did it. And he goes, there was something inside. Now, mind you, he is a full-on tattooed Satanist. Like,
Yep.
And he goes, something inside me told him to forgive him. Now, Jeremiah, as much as he is a knothead,
Yep.
Once he gets an idea, he's going to do it. He simply goes, "Okay, Lord, I forgive him." And he goes, and he knew he's talking to Jesus. He goes, "I forgive him." He goes, he felt weights coming off of him, and off of his heart. And in a moment, he changed. And then he didn't ask God to. He wasn't asking. He wasn't even looking for Jesus at the time.
I mean,
and then he's changed.
He gave him permission, I think, is what happened there. Like we wasn't thinking of it in those terms,
the deal.
But
yeah, well, maybe. Okay, so here's my point for you.
Okay,
dude. Unless you're a tattooed, self-willed Satanist, shut up. And you were, I don't want to hear it.
If he can be saved, then anybody can be saved. Gosh darn it! Knock it off.
Yeah, and change. And now he's got a good job. He's held a job for a while. He's got a really nice girlfriend, and he's a happy, fun guy. He's changed. So, like, you don't know me from my past. Like, and it's like, I don't want to glorify. Like, I was a burnout. This conversation, there was no way in an eternity of time I could have had this conversation. I just couldn't do it. But here we are.
Eternity is a long time, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's forever. It's just an eternity.
Well, so my point is this. For the entire eternity, I would have been hopeless.
Yep.
Or maybe 2 or 3. My point for you is, and for me, is our weakness is not stronger than his strength. And his strength is love. So don't you dare say his love is not capable to bring me back to life in whatever way. That I think is impossible. That I'm, too broken. That's the lie.
Well,
and
so the thing for me
actually
is
even being, and I'll finish it.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, go for it.
I have faith that anyone can be saved. The thing that I'm missing is I don't
Yeah.
see how like because I don't see the path for myself. I don't know if that's like a lack of faith itself. It's like I believe that there is a path, but because I don't see the path, like is it that I can't step on? Like I'm not sure exactly what the issue is, honestly. Now that I'm saying it, I'm thinking about it.
Well, all right. To be honest, you sound like everyone else, me included. Like I don't know how this is going to happen. Stop trying to figure it out and just enjoy the moment that you live in now.
Ron, you know who you're talking to.
And if you so let's say, yes, I do. Actually, I'm talking to
engineer
myself
brain.
as well as you.
You're talking to engineer brain.
No, here's the thing. Okay, then
I need to know how things work in order to trust them.
Okay, then I will talk. Okay, then no, I will. Then I'll tell you.
Okay.
I think I can.
Okay.
And I'm not being sarcastic.
Yep.
It is faith that works through love.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole way this thing works.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's if you, and then you have to walk within a mystery of saying, okay, these what do I know? Okay, the cross and the word tells me I am loved, and that I'm holy, pure, and that all things are possible through God. Check, got it. And then he says the good thing he has started in me, he is faithful to finish it. Okay. Now, how he does it, or what it looks like, he never said he would tell us that. Ever. For me, you, or anybody. Now, he might tell you, and that's cool. But up until the moment he does tell you, it's okay to go technological brain, engineer brain. I don't know how it's going to happen, when, and all that. I don't even know the exact outcome of this thing is going to be, other than I know absolutely he said it would be good. We're not machines. We are, I think we're described as wheat. We're described as mustard seeds that grow. We are described as maybe fish, maybe also eagles. What else? But we're not machines. I don't think we're ever described as a machine at all.
Well, I don't think the concept of a machine existed back in biblical times either, so that's maybe not the best thing to lean on.
No, I think so. No, they had balances. They had chariots. They had swords.
Did they have a
robots in the Iliad?
Oh, we got a Skankenstein. Hi, sir.
Scott?
I didn't realize you guys didn't see me.
Skankenstein, I should say. Excuse me.
Oh, dude, yes.
However you want to pronounce it. Skank, shank, stank, stump.
Well, is it supposed to be like a Frankenstein tribute, or is it supposed to be like what's the?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. No, I like the intentionally underdetermined. At least open to duality of being doctor or the mom.
Well, yeah. Well, have you been listening in? What's your thoughts on the conversation so far?
Got like 2 or 3 things going here at the moment. I guess specifically when you're talking about like, you know, like engineer brain folks or machine like folks.
Mhm.
I just think there's a lot of different paths in. The things that we have to deal with is that, like, say, like my way into this world isn't necessarily going to be your way or somebody else's way.
Mhm.
And one of the consistent problems we have is trying to treat it like a one size fits all code.
Mhm.
There's one way, but there's only one door.
Mhm.
What was that? There was you broke up on my end. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm wandering right now. It's like I mean, there's one way, but there's more than one door into that one way.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I just couldn't hear you. Gotcha. Gotcha. Oh, that's interesting. All right. So, all right. So, all right, Afril. So, if you're going to be techno brain, that's cool.
Mhm.
So, let's say your door is more mechanical, which I should be able to work with this. Then I guess what I would say is the Bible is the code, the script that that we operate on within our, and it is the Holy Spirit is the driving force, not that makes it work.
Mhm.
And knowing that He's faithful, if there is some physical things, and no, not just physical, if there's something that we need to change in the way we're operating,
Mhm.
He is faithful to execute the lines of command that need to be changed in our minds and hearts to do it. But more so, it's going to sound odd, but he's faithful to give us the different inspirations so that we can change.
Mhm.
This is strictly. Does that make sense? Does that fly or no? I'm just asking.
Well, that he gives the inspiration for change as well. Also, welcome Noah.
Yeah, just he gives. It's his job
Yeah.
to give the inspiration for change.
Okay, I got a kind of off the wall example from the Viking Bible, the Hellion. One of the things that's kind of so fascinating to me about this is that, again, like it's trying to tell the Jesus story to a specific culture, and some of the values mesh and some of the values clash. It's really, really interesting. But one of the things that pops up throughout that like retelling of the gospel story is like Viking Norse mythology worldview is just, it's governed by fate, governed by mythology or astrology, governed by the movements of the stars. Where the world is a closed system. And kind of like the way they account for the story is that one of the things that Jesus does is he frees us from the workings of fate. And I kind of see that as part of it, because he gives us through the story of his conquering of death, something that allows us to rewire our deep, hardcore biological program. And that was evidenced immediately by the Christian culture of martyrs. You suddenly have this massive group of people who were no longer afraid of death. We can't be controlled the way that we used to be.
Yep.
That's
big.
It's a powerful meme.
That's actually one of the biggest. When you're not afraid of death.
Well, what do you threaten somebody with at that point?
And
like, torture, sure, but
yeah, not only are they, not only you're not afraid of death, but you're also loved.
Even that doesn't work.
Yeah.
It allows us to serve love over fear, because we have seen demonstrate that love conquers.
And not in ways that fear expects it to either, which is kind of the fun part. Like fear keeps doing its fear
Well, and
things,
see, here's the
trying to
thing.
make it work, and love just judos it into something else.
Exactly. And that's
Yeah.
why I was so dictatorial about me saying that anyone can change, because it's not, because I agree, like, the fear of death is gone, but it's also, it's not just that there's an absence of fear of death,
Mhm.
but there's a drawing of love. That's it, dude. And that's the only reason I changed.
I want to amend something that I said earlier. God could change someone if he wanted to, but that would defeat the purpose of trying to have a human being who came into relationship with him properly, in my opinion.
One more time on that. I was
If God wanted to change
Typing
somebody's
something,
heart
sorry.
against their will, he could, but that would defeat the
Right.
whole purpose of trying to bring conscious beings into the world who voluntarily choose to serve him.
okay. Okay, now this is, and I'm not pushing back hard on this one. This is a Bible example,
Mhm.
because I've actually had friends of mine who were at ayahuasca retreats, or actually, Buddhist silent retreats,
Mhm.
and God saved them in a dream, and they were actively not seeking Jesus.
Mhm.
He just decided to say hi.
Mhm.
In time, they had a choice to say yes,
Mhm.
but he made the first move. But the question, and I got to split here in a second because it's almost
late.
12. But my last, and I am asking,
Mhm.
yeah, that's all right. Saul of Tarshish, on his way to Damascus, breathing out threats,
Mhm.
persecuting the body, not really liking Jesus at all.
Mm-hmm.
He done got a personal, not only did he get a personal invite from Jesus, Jesus is like, get up, dude. We got to roll.
Mm.
You're going to be my vessel. Let's go.
Well,
And then,
to be
and
fair,
then
Jesus did strike him
Saul
blind
goes,
first, and then
yeah,
he
go
worked it
for
out
it.
after.
Yeah, no, he didn't strike him blind first. He got to see him first.
Yeah,
He showed up like the
Yeah.
noonday sun.
that is true.
So, and that's like, maybe it's like yeah. So he got a good eyeball full of Jesus, and he wasn't asking.
Mm-hmm.
If all right, if 5 minutes before that there was a vending station going, hey, would you like to know Jesus? He's about to. He would have been like, no, I'd rather kill someone who knows. Like his opinion. So, and that's my only
Mm.
about that whole. And there's got to be free will. I do agree with you,
Well,
but
I want to interject
it
one other thing
seems
with
like-
that too. I
Yeah.
think that part of the fun part of this being a PvP server
yeah,
means that the good guys get to take advantage of that too. And
yeah.
it's not in the same way as the bad guys take advantage of it being a PvP server, but it's there. Anyway, you're
All
saying
right. What do you mean? Because I'm it's.
if it's a PvP
I didn't
server,
track on that one. What?
what I mean by that is
Yeah.
the bad guys can't just call timeout. When Jesus comes a knocking and says, "Hey,
Huh.
how's it going, guys?"
Okay, that's interesting. How does help me understand? So they can't call a timeout.
Mhm.
It's. I wonder if they could call it. So what would be the? Is that a chink in Satan's armor? Then he thinks he can call a timeout, or
Well, no, he knows that
he doesn't
can't.
know he can't.
He knows that he can't. That
Okay.
in order for him to keep doing his thing, he has to allow for the possibility of good,
Right.
as much as he hates that.
Uh,
And so that means that I can come in and love someone who doesn't want to be loved, who doesn't think that they're deserving of love, who doesn't understand how someone could possibly love them. I get to love them,
right.
and that's my PvP action. In the same way that a demon or Satan or whatever, or even another person would hurt someone else. Like, they don't get to say, you're not allowed to love me. I can love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay. Gotcha.
Does that make more sense?
I think there's a scripture that, yeah, now I got it. The scripture I think I would use on that, what is it? It's like, love cannot be tempted by darkness, or is it? I know love can't be overcome by, or light cannot be overcome by darkness. Or is it? Man, guys, help me out. Is it love can't be tempted by evil?
There's light, and there's no.
Okay.
Love can't or
Okay.
God can't.
Okay, but
God
my
can't be
question.
tempted by evil.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I
So
think
my question is, and
there's
this is
also
just, can I ask?
Go ahead.
What, okay. My question. This is just for fun. Can evil be tempted by good?
Yes. St. Christopher.
I was wondering that.
Temptation might not be the best word for it, but yes.
So sorry,
I
man.
think
I
it's
didn't
more.
mean to...
Oh no! You were still.
Mhm.
I thought you were done.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And
All right. So, yeah, yeah.
you still rolling? Go ahead.
No, we're good. You're good, because that's actually been an honest question of mine. Can evil be tempted of good, or am I just missing the wording? It's not the right wording. Like.
Well, I mean,
It's-
if we're talking about evil as like demonic evil, like spiritual powers, we're talking about like those things are, in my best current understanding, they're like intelligences. They're like the structures that uphold this world, and they're evil when they become ends in themselves.
Okay.
And so one of the things that Paul says happens in Jesus, in Colossians, that he's the destination that all these things are supposed to be headed towards. And because he has triumphed over them, like they did everything they could, they used all of their force to try and put him down, and God still brought him back up. And now he is able to ascend, like I said, we're at ascension time. So he is at the throne, and all of these evils that are evil when they're ends in themselves can now be redirected towards the good. We can participate in things like money and power, as if we recognize that the ultimate end is Jesus, and ride them home rather than ride them off their respective cliffs.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. All right. I like that. Well, all right. Listen, I'm having way too much fun, and it's 12 o'clock in my part of the world.
Go to bed, old man.
And my body's probably going to want to... Oh, dude, I get up at 5 or 6 in the morning. Well, 6:20 to be honest, but still. If I get up at 6:20, I'll be like, oh, I'm going to be... I'll be needing Jesus at that point. So... But it's been fun. I cannot say it has not. But dude, I'd rather stay up late doing this than sleep. I can sleep some other time.
Sleep when you're dead.
But at this point,
I will say,
yeah, I know.
if you want to talk about those demonic powers that are... Say, I did initially jump on this stream because I saw both you guys are at least potentially interested in joining the party house. So I came to rattle the tip jar and see if you guys are still committed to the party house.
I am, and I
oh yeah,
I'm waiting on
in Midwest.
I'm waiting on Ups right now.
Yeah.
As soon as Ups commits, we're on board.
Yes.
I don't, unless you guys book somebody else before us, because I don't want you to hold up your plans on our account.
No.
No. We're
glad
kind
we
of like
talked
at this point, just or I'm just calling because we're sort of like it's in the messy middle, and TLC is a group of talkers, not doers, and so kind of helping Matt see kind of like
Let's do something.
beat around the bush. Yeah, beat around the bush and be like, hey guys, we gotta like pay for our beds here.
Yep.
And so
Yeah.
we've
Dude,
lost
you know
the
what?
number
My
of
answer is
initial interested folks.
I will go ahead and say a firm yes for me.
Okay,
and a
fairly
firm
sitting
yes
like
for
if we
Okay,
hit our
I like
rates
this
about
quite a
250 a bed.
I'll say a firm
Okay,
yes for me. I'll say a
so,
firm yes for my friend.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Uh,
Yeah. So I'm in. So that makes how a total of 4 right now.
okay. You two, Ron?
Yeah, yeah. Please, if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely. Like there is space right now. We're just again collected, so Matt sees not
How
from the
many?
whole
Yep.
bill, and just
So what would be? How many people would be in the house?
I mean it sleeps like 22. We've got 9 right now. I'm not sure how many of you guys are in there right now. So we're looking
Would
to hit like if we full like 16. That's about 250 a bed.
That's not bad.
Okay, so would
actually,
that
what
be for
days?
a single room
What
or
days?
bunking with someone? Yeah. True.
Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night.
Okay. Right. That sounds
I'll
about
have to
right.
figure out Wednesday night then, because I'm planning to come in the day before prior. Okay, but that's fine. Because I don't imagine that's going to be the case for most other people.
Okay.
It's interesting.
I want to make sure I'm there for PB
I have
Thursday.
a spot if
Yeah,
you need a place to
okay.
be.
Are you doing the? All right. Dagnabbit. I tell you what. So would this be a single room or a double or quadruple? What are we looking at? Rooming.
I think the big thing we've got right now is fairly. So we've got like a room with bunk beds. I think there's 4 beds in the bunk bed room.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to pay money just to have a room for myself because I guess I snore and I don't want to just destroy people. So, and if that's a problem, I'll find a room somewhere like Motel 6 or whatever. It's
Ron, if
So
you
that
want, you
is
should
kind of a
read Neil and
condition.
see if something would work.
I'm sorry.
You should reach out to Neil. He might have something that might work.
Okay, that would be
There's a chance.
outstanding
Yeah.
because
I'd say.
I don't want to.
Yeah. Check with
Mhm.
I'll have Matt C check in with you directly, just as far as because you're not on Twitter, because that's kind of where the main discussion is happening. Or
No.
trying to happen.
Okay, I can.
Um,
If you can send me the link to Twitter, and also feel free to give my phone number to whoever is.
okay. Yeah.
Doing
I'll
this.
send that. I'll send that to Matt C. He's kind of at least like willing to
Okay.
like pay up front for us. So he's just looking for a number of like confirms, so that it's
Right.
not like we're all footing a big bill. for-
Right.
Yep.
that's-
And then nobody shows up.
Right.
Nobody wants
Okay.
to. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. no,
Right,
I hear
right,
you. So. Does it sound like I'm passing? Because if it's going to be bunk beds, I'm going to pass on that. I hate being that way, but I
That's
know
not
I'm
that's
just
not
gonna
the
avoid
only
problems.
that's not the only option. I'll send you over to
Okay.
Matt C. Like
All
an
right.
individual bed, we might ask you to pay a little bit more because that's at least like 2-person sleeping
Oh,
spots.
sure.
But
Yeah, that's totally no. That's yeah, sure. I
Yeah.
understand.
yeah, no. And to say, it sounds
Okay.
like the Neil situation. You guys are squared away, right, Noah?
I think so.
Or like you have space, but it's not like you're
I
struggling
think
to
there's
pay.
not. No, not struggling to pay for it, but I think there's space for people if people need it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll
Sorry,
connect
should
you
talk
with
to
Matt
you.
C. Ron. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Let's connect you with
appreciate
Matt C. first and see if we can get this one to work.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that was
Well-
it.
No, that works. That's cool. All right. So my next goal is to talk to Matt C. sometimes this.
Yeah,
maybe
I'll send
tomorrow.
him your number
Try
and
track him down.
yeah.
Okay.
Do you have his number, or you want me to?
Not yet, not yet. But feel free to give him mine,
Okay.
and that way, or I mean, unless he's cool with me having it, just shoot it my way. And because I've been thinking about the room, not stressing about it, but I do feel like pulling the trigger on something and just getting it out the
Right.
way.
Yeah, that was like I thought we did, and then
all
a
right.
couple folks backed out. So we're trying to make sure this is an
Right.
investment that'll pay off.
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah. No, we got it. We got
all
it. We'll or at least we got next steps.
fellas. Well,
Sorry, didn't mean to drag that up and
dude,
calculate
man, I
conversation.
No,
with
no,
Monday.
Oh
That's
no,
good.
no, no,
For sure.
no,
Important stuff.
no. But here's dude. This is important. I've been No, I appreciate you bringing this up quite a bit because I wanted
Yeah.
to talk to Ryan about it, and so I guess like as long as I could get a single room, just because I know who I am, it's like, and I don't want to destroy other people or not be able to sleep myself. So, and I just appreciate Matt C doing it, and so yeah, I'll be patiently waiting, but oh man, well, wherever you think I can fit in well, like I'll definitely, like to hear what's going on and just jump on
Okay.
in.
Cool. Expect to
All right,
awesome.
fellas.
Go to bed, man.
It's
At church in the
12:12
morning.
my part of the world. I'm out. Yeah, I know, and we'll see. I'm like, otherwise I'll be repenting
The
for my
rest of us
content.
are West Coasters, bro.
Oh, dude, I'm dying. You're killing me, Smalls. I'll see you guys.
Later
Bye.
on. Take care.
See you around.
Yeah, no, don't sweat it, Matt. I appreciate you pushing and making the effort. Like, I wouldn't call it quite accountability stalking, but pretty close. Like, it's necessary.
I'm just yeah, it's just the whole like nobody wants to talk about money and stuff like that. And we like did the hard work of making a decision, and then thought that was the end of it. Like, well, no, now we're not going to pay for it.
Yep. Now we got to go back and actually, make sure that everything is set up and everyone has actually contributed. But by the way, did you get that figured out?
So again, we're waiting for the specific bits yet, but yeah, no. As soon as I kind of like run my paranoid tests on that, we'll do it. As soon as that happens, I'll let you know directly.
Okay, sounds good. I'm really looking forward to it. By the way, like it's gonna be good.
It's so good. Oh my gosh.
I'm just curious when Peugeot and Vervaeke are actually going to start advertising it to their audiences if they haven't already, and then like what the turnout is going to be, because I know it's going to be mostly Vervaeke, but
it's time. We'll see. I really think our higher ups should start pushing them to start advertising. I don't think ticket sales are where they want it to be right now.
No,
we've had plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We shall see. Not really anything that we can individually do about that, and I would hope that Paul's kind of nudged them behind the scenes and said, "Hey guys, like, I know this is a little bit out of your wheelhouse generally, but we should probably start hearing something from you about it. If you're going to be speaking there."
Yeah.
But Paul's also been busy with Synod and whatnot.
Right. Well, this is less a Paul thing than it is like Sam and the other.
The ones who are
Did
engaged.
Sam like
That's
talk
true.
to Peugeot recently?
Yeah. If you're going to talk to him directly, then that probably should have been brought up as part of the public conversation, which I think it was, but I don't remember. I don't remember if that came up as part. I think it towards the beginning. I want to say it did.
Yeah, I would hope that it's part of their contracts as like speakers and stuff like that they'll do some
Mhm.
advertising. I don't know if they put a date. Again, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about this, but
Mhm.
it seems like the sensible sort of thing. And all these guys are more professional than I am.
Well, supposedly. Who knows?
I haven't kept up with their-
It seems like a
has
pretty serious guy.
Verbeke,
Mhm.
has Verbeke or Peugeot mentioned Northwestuary at all?
On their channels, I don't think so, but I also don't follow them closely enough to really know one way or the other.
That's kind of where I'm at too.
Do we need to do like a community? Well, they don't really stream though. They mostly just do video uploads. So that would be do a Hive Mind raid would be a good way of getting that. But
That it would be awesome to get get them to participate in like a call-in live stream with randos.
that would be cool.
I mean, just be like, yeah, no, they're on. I also think we need to get like a videographer to just create a bunch of commercials effectively for all of the TLC YouTube channels. Either best of clips or have them pitch on what goes on the channel.
Yeah, that would be good. I think Just P was doing some stuff, and I know Chad's been doing his brandings for it. But yeah, I don't know who else that they have involved with it. We shall see.
Michelle?
How's it going with you, Noah?
It's going, surviving.
Yeah.
I just got back home from seeing the in-laws all day.
Okay.
So, kind of taking a breather. But yeah, finished a relatively big writing project, so I'm trying to figure out what to do with that.
Okay.
What's the best context to share that?
Like something more like a book, script.
4,000 word short story type of thing.
Okay. I mean, I'm aware of your Substack. So that would be probably a good place for it. Unless you want to do something.
Yeah, I've also thought about like doing I was thinking about doing like an audiobook, something maybe turn that into a YouTube video. I'm still kind of playing around with it in my head. Right now, I just sent it to a couple friends and hoped that I could get some thoughts back. I just haven't, so I might have to poke them again.
Okay.
I might send it to a couple other people. Maybe I'll send it your way or Neil's way and see what you guys think.
I'll bleed red ink all over
Yeah.
for you.
No. But luckily, I got the wife's approval. She liked it,
Nice.
and she's pretty honest with me. So
She's
I was
not going
happy
to tell
about
you
that.
that it's good when she thinks it's bad, just to make you feel better.
contracts. It was just some dudes here. That's what she tells me, and she's usually right about that.
Well, I mean, if she knows that you're
So,
planning on
happy about that.
publishing it out to the broader public, I would hope that she would let you know if there was going to be an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. She's pretty good about all that. She's a little bit more hesitant and slow than I am on like publishing things and stuff, so it's usually a good voice to listen to. So I'm very, very happy to have that.
Nice.
But, yeah. So I'm trying to just figure that out and survive. Those are my two goals.
Yeah, well, trying to do that while working a 40-hour-a-week job at a where you work is not an easy thing to do because you're kind of dead tired by the end of the day every day, I'm guessing.
It's getting there.
Mm.
I've been getting more and more responsibilities kind of thrown my way,
Mhm.
and we just now finished kind of like a big project, and then the same thing just kind of popped up again.
Mhm.
So it feels like we're kind of back to square one in a lot of ways,
Got it.
and it's gonna be a few months of that again, and so I'm trying to do my best to figure out how to, you know, manage that and be a human.
Mhm.
So I feel bad not necessarily being the most able to juggle everything. I don't know. I'm constantly worrying about letting people down or
Mhm.
not living up to potentials or something like that.
Mm. Were you gonna say something, Matt? I thought that.
Oh, I was just gonna say like, hey, chin up. I just got my first legit bad review
Oh,
yesterday.
Wait, what? You had a review on your for your job?
Yeah. Oh, well, thankfully, it was covering for a buddy of mine in the balloon business. But
Hmm.
yeah, it was sort of like a nightmare gig.
okay.
Oh,
Things did not go well.
Just what? Yeah. Well, I mean, this is one of those. Both he and I play things a little bit loosey goosey, and we both last week I did not realize I was double booked, and he pulled my ass out of the fire.
Ah.
And so I was able to kind of return the fifth week, but
Yep.
he was double booked and found out time of the gig that he was supposed to be in Mount Vernon.
Oh, that's not good.
So they wanted him there from they wanted him there for like 10 to 2, and he's just like, anything you can do, just give them something. And so I got the notice at like 10:30.
Oh my gosh.
Got on the road, so I got there. Gig started at 10. I got there at 1, and it's just this big end of like school year gig, and it's just work as fast as you can, do as much as you can. It's just I arrived high strung. They were upset and upset in a way that it's like it doesn't matter how good I was. I couldn't do anything right. Well, I mean, and also I don't think it was quite clearly like communicated. Like I'm just here to mitigate damage, but they were just so pissed at him that like they got to the point where they accused me of slapping a child and an adult.
What?
I know. So like I know. The only thing that could have happened is that like so I wear an apron, so my balloons are sitting on top of my crotch. So I'm a little bit. I don't want them to touch my gear because it's right where you don't want them touching.
Yeah.
And I'm very aggressive at making sure that does not happen. I'm not aggressive, but just like direct.
Yep.
It's like it's like a step below like don't you dare fucking cross that street.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of deal. So I'm just like so if then kids are kids. They look with their hands, and so there's a couple times generally what to do if they're reaching in, I'll put my hand down and redirect their hand away from my apron.
Yep.
And I guess that was read as a slap.
But what about the adult one?
I have no idea. I can't imagine why adult was
that sounds wild.
I know. Like they said that, I'm like, gosh. But again, this is bad Yelp review.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well.
But thankfully, it wasn't under my name.
Oh. Oh man. Does that make it better or worse?
I mean, it's the big thing I learned is like, for something like that, it's better to just say no. like, guys, you'll come into an impossible situation that you don't have to go to. Just say you're busy next time. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Well, lesson
so
learned.
yeah,
I guess.
no, they did not
It's-
read my actions as I'm coming here to
Mhm.
save the day as best I can.
Mm-mm. You were the offender. How dare?
Yep. Last person I saw, I get to be the scapegoat.
Mm-hmm. But not the one that they left the mail review for.
Right,
Ah.
right. But then there's the whole like he has to pay for whatever perceived sins I committed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well. Jimmy Crickets.
That's wild.
When are you gonna do a rando with Paul, by the way?
I mean, he's kind of busy right now. I don't know. Whenever he reaches out, it'll be a weird one because I kind of feel like at least chunks of it, I'm not like. I don't want to dump onto the open end.
Yep.
So I'm just kind of thinking about that. Like maybe we'll just like talk for a while and be like, all right, let's go behind the veil. I don't mind like most of it. I don't mind talking about in a non-public space. But I mean, my story involves people that have committed serious crimes, which they have not been punished for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if they came across that, might find that worth litigating. So.
Yep, because that could technically be litigated as slander.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there's no way for me to kind of talk about without like people in my life being like, "Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about." Really?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't think
So,
about it from
but,
that
I don't know.
perspective.
Awesome.
So behind a paywall?
I mean, maybe.
Not even that. I think I know. Again, like if he reaches out and wants to get that set up, we'll get it. We'll go see if I can break Ethan's record.
But I think the fact that you are someone with an MDiv who then went and became a balloon maker, it's like that piqued his interest more than I've seen a rando's pique his interest in a long time. I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of weird puzzle pieces that as soon as enough of them emerge, gonna garner attention.
I'm sure it'll work out though. I know that Paul is not the kind of person who would ever try and put you in that kind of a position. So.
No. I mean, I wouldn't even talk to him if I thought that was a possibility.
Yep. Well, what do you say, guys?
It's dark for a second. Check a laundry.
Okay. I'm probably gonna hop off here pretty soon because I gotta go make some birthday buttered mochi for my wife because her birthday is tomorrow. So.
Ooh.
And then I will
Congrats.
not be on next week because we will be visiting her parents down in Vegas and then driving back up because, yeah, it'll be a little road trip fun. But I will not be by my computer on Saturday, and so good reason for no stream, not Ryan having a staring into the void or having a bad attitude at the moment and not wanting to put that out onto the internet.
That's good. Well, we have a good week then.
Me too. And are you going to be streaming Death Stranding tomorrow?
That's the plan.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes.
I will.
So excited that I just picked up a copy.
Wait, sorry, what was that?
Of Death
I
Stranding?
just picked up a copy of Death Stranding, finally. So excited. Yeah.
You should be. It's amazing.
I mean, I have nothing but high expectations. Kojima has not let me down yet.
I love it. It's honestly up there as like one of my favorite games. And I am so sad that the new one's about to come out and I have no way to play it.
Is it on console only?
Yeah, it's PS5 exclusive.
Got it.
Just pretty brutal.
I'm sure
So
they'll release it on
if
PC
anybody wants to give me $800, let me know.
Grift harder.
I will stream the entire thing.
Rift
If someone does
harder.
it. But I don't think I have anyone sufficiently interested in watching me specifically play Death Stranding 2.
That they'd be willing to pay $800
To make
for
that
you to
happen.
buy a PS5. You never know. Put it out there. See what happens.
You
Gotta,
never know.
gotta
Set
get
up a
that
Ko-Fi
subscriber
link.
count up.
If all my subscribers give me $1, how's
I would have
Slack would love to give
$50.
me that joke.
I might be able to afford the game for a system I don't own.
Also, howdy, CC.
Uh,
You came in right at the end.
How is BB formed?
How is Babby formed? Do you
Oh,
not know that
BB?
one? Oh, how's BB formed?
Oh, I know how is
Okay.
How is
Oh.
BB? BB is the
Yeah,
name
yeah.
of the fetus.
Yep. The fetus that has detection capabilities or something.
Mhm. Was that Matt?
Psionic baby.
Kind of half dead.
Born out of dying
Oh,
mother,
right,
I wanna
right.
say.
It's just like
yeah,
baby Hollow Knight.
yes. A stillborn mother,
Mhm.
or something like that is the name. Is what they say.
Mm.
Yeah. Which version did you get? Did you get the director's cut?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. No, I
Very
splurged
good.
about a month ago and got myself a Steam Deck.
Nice.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. That's it. That's a good platform for this.
Yeah. No, I'm currently working my way through Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, okay.
Have you guys played that one?
No,
I have not.
I need to play Last of Us.
I haven't played the first one.
Yeah, same.
Do you guys
That might be a
bow out
good,
because of
TLC.
system or because of there's a lot I want to talk about. Mostly like authorial voice in a game.
Mhm.
Just like the narrative. Well, again, like Naughty Dog, they're pretty kind of heavy-handed with their narrative,
Mhm.
and it's like they do some interesting things with story construction. And I want to find someone to talk about like whether or not it's an evil story or a story told in an evil way.
Mm.
The second one specifically.
The second one specifically. I
Yeah, 'cause
love
I
the
know
fact.
the themes of it.
Go ahead. Yeah,
I was gonna say I know the theme
but it's
down
like
in those parts.
right. You know, like kind of like the conceit, what they did to really kind of like screw with their player.
Yeah. The killing off of
Yeah,
the character,
yeah,
right?
And they're forcing you to play as the.
No. There's. Right.
Oh, you're
forcing
talking about
to
the
play as
second half
killer.
of the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. That part more than, and I don't know. Again, like I said, can't really talk about with the folks that haven't played the game. Kind of like the things that I see. But first off, like as a game, it's super fun, and also you go through apocalyptic Seattle, which is also delightful. I'm like, hey, I know this place. I was like, oh man, I've been meaning to go to the Seattle Aquarium forever. I wish I hadn't gone to it first in the video game. Now I gotta go for real.
In regards to the protagonist switch, something that's super interesting is that I was listening to an interview with Neil Druckmann recently, and he was saying that like the whole reason why he wanted to do that was because he loved Gear Solid 2 so much.
Is he what?
Because why? You came in a little choppy.
Oh, sorry, it cut out. He loved Metal Gear Solid 2 so much. Did it do it again?
Okay, right on.
Okay, I was worried I got censored.
No.
No. They just provided context, that's all.
God bless. I need to play that game, but that end credit, or that end scene there is ridiculously good.
I mean, it's only a matter of we just do like a series-wide Metal Gear Solid stream and commentary-a-thon. That's gotta happen someday.
That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
Once we feel up to it.
I mean, once we have access to 4 in some reasonable way, right? Like that's the big barrier.
What's that?
Access
to 4? Oh. I got... Okay.
Yeah, because
I've got a
Metal Gear Solid 4 is...
in the last 6 months.
Oh. Okay. If you have a capture card, we can make it happen.
I know none of this. You'll have to walk me through that bit of it, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Kelly.
We'll see. We'll see. There might be a remake at some point. At this point, they're remaking 3. They've ported 1 and 2.
4
Please stop.
has like the only thing going for it is that it's unavailable. It's
That's fair.
not that yeah, I guess it kind of is my least favorite of them all, I guess. If I have to, I mean, not that I didn't like it, but
I mean,
on tier ranking, I think it would be 5th place.
Dolphin's a thing, and I'm pretty sure that they're out of copyright. So if we wanted to, I could just emulate it and do that way. At least for Solid
It's
2.
PS3.
Just Metal Gear Solid 2?
Oh, Solid 2. Metal Gear Solid 2 is it's already has a PC port,
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's not even, you'd have to use an emulator. You can just,
an official one.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a native one that's pretty good.
Okay. Well, I have a whiny pup who I think wants to go get walked, so I'm gonna go do that. Thank you guys.
All of our streamers are abusing their dogs today. You and Good.
It's not abuse. She got fed at a reasonable time. I just didn't have time to walk her before.
Neglect.
She's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure she is.
That's what they all say.
I mean, she keeps coming back to the house after I let her off leash, so I think we're good.
Have you heard of Stockholm Syndrome?
Are they like cats where you just lock them into a house for 2 weeks and they now that this is my home?
Dogs, man.
Alrighty. Well, Thanks to everybody else out in the audience. Thanks Matt and Noah for hopping on. Thanks Ron for keeping me company. Thanks Ups and Grizz and Spatch and missing anybody? Anybody else tune in? CC, thank you. Slack, thank you for tuning in, keeping with us the whole time. Mark S for popping in while he was looking for Ron, apparently. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye then. Be safe, friends. Don't you ever go